So, gentlemen, tell me what we're going to talk about today.
Today on Keepin the Geek Bros podcast, episode 103, we've got Blizzard employees have revolted as they anonymously share their paid data, Genki converter dock for the Switch, End Zone, a World Apart review, The Other Shoe is about to drop, a Disneyland update, an excerpt from Star Wars Throne Ascendancy, audiobooks, how bibliophiles can enjoy books even when they're not able to read, Disney Plus's Star Wars spin-off series Rogue One sets new co-star with Diego Luna, Disney has no Fox left to give as it renames TV studio to 20th TV. Psychologists say calling someone a geek should be a hate crime. Why Gina Carano is being targeted by trolls on Twitter. Apple removes Fortnite from App Store. I didn't write this. Released window for Xbox. Fast and Furious, more like slow and slower. Again, I didn't write this. Santa's Gen 4 is canceled this year. Control will only get a free next-gen upgrade for a new Ultimate Edition. Xbox Boss appears in Animal Crossing, discusses Halo delay. Microsoft's new Xbox X Series console confirmed in leaked controller packaging. Mortal Kombat 2021 reboot cast of characters. Question of the day, should video game stories return to a simpler black and white morality? Inebriated fitness, why do some men have man boobs? A testosterone discussion. All this and more on this week's episode. Stay tuned.
Geeking out never looked so good. Two incredibly sexy men will rise for your auditory pleasure. Here's your hosts, Keeping Up with the Geek Bros.
Oh. Yes, I'm vibing. With me are
Darth Flex,
Juancho,
Garbanzo, and Muted Roz.
Muted Roz.
We
didn't hear it.
Roz.
That's the second time.
There you are.
Like the last episode too, he said his name. I saw it in the video, but I didn't hear it. So he's like, I said my name.
You know what I think? I think my microphone is squelching itself if I don't use it for a while.
That's
I'm gonna have to look into that.
Okay. That's all right.
I think Juancho's blowing himself.
Yes, he is. And we are the hosts of Keepin the Geek Bros podcast, a family podcast, allegedly. Darth Flex, before we get to it, please tell these fine people where to find us on social media.
Absolutely, my beautiful chocolate friend. So you people can find, sorry, I don't mean you people. You guys can find us on,
what do you mean you people, huh?
On Instagram and Twitter at Geek Bros with a 0. That's GEKBR0S. Also, you can email us some pretty cool stuff. I'd be interested if you guys would email us your thoughts on Grounded, and if you are afraid of spiders or whatever,
only in the game.
Send us pictures of your dogs. You'll definitely get free shit.
Did you say send us pictures of your dongs?
Dogs.
Yeah.
That's what I heard. I heard dongs.
I mean, I'll get them to CBD. If you guys want to send pictures of your dongs, we'll judge your dongs. We'll DM you. We'll give you a rating from 1 to 5.
Of course.
And we don't charge for our ratings.
No, that's right.
Yeah. So if you have dick skin, though, make sure you send it to Juan because that's what he loves. Now, that
is a deep cut.
That's a
deep cut. That's a fat deep cut.
Well, not really, because the skin's still there. All right, so you guys can also check us out on Facebook.com/GeekBros0 for cool posts, up-to-date news, fake news, funny news, real news, serious stuff, and just family photos and stuff like that.
It's gotten so bad, so good on Facebook, and now when I post episodes of the podcast, I have to pin it to the top because it gets drowned out by all the other posts. So that is how good it's getting on Facebook.com/GeekBros. So get in there while the getting is good.
That's what she said. Now, the first place to find the Geek Bros.
The first place.
Primero lugar.
Okay. Can you turn off your SAP, please? All right, so you can find us on WeBeGeeksPC.com. Thank you, Mike. Now, if you want to check out this beautiful concoction of toxic masculinity, you can check us out on youtube.com/SurvivorStudios. That's VABEREVSTUDIOS.
I like it. I like it so much that I'm like aroused. We're gonna move on to comments and questions from you, the audience. I don't remember if there's much. I think there's one? Yes, there's one. It's from Squeezebits. and it says, "Who's your daddy?" And I didn't get to play it, and it's a minute long. And I'm not gonna play it, but thank you, Squeezy Bits. When I review it again, I'm gonna put it on there. Man did send us an email, and I did not post it here. But he actually might be joining us after 7, so I'll have him read it for us today after 7. So stay tuned for that, which means we might have to take another picture if he comes in. So yeah, that's comments and questions. There are more comments, but I know that I didn't get them on there because I was more concerned about doing this thing with the thing and stuff. So, question. Moving on. Next one.
Hey, Vibe, I forgot to ask you, what's going on with the Geek Bros?
What is going on with Geek Bros? Another editor's notes, and when I say editor's notes, I mean me. I asked you guys, both my fellow cohorts here, my fellow Geek Bros co-hosts, and you, an audience, whether you wanted me to post-produce or put any actual time and effort into the post-production of this podcast. And although I did get some responses, I actually, all favorable, I've made my own, creative decision that I will be doing that from now on. I will be post-producing all these episodes. I will be going through the whole hour and a half, 2 hours of audio, cleaning up the dead air, cleaning up the ums, and now I've decided to basically edit the podcast. So with that being said, there now is a new reason why you should, if you want to watch the video recaps. The video recaps now will remain uncut. So the video recaps will remain uncut, which means any random nonsense or or internal talking, whatever that we have.
I remember the one time you said, "I don't ever want to do audio editing."
Yeah, I know. And yes,
Who's your daddy now?
It only took 103 episodes, or in total 132 audio productions for me to decide to do actual audio editing for this. I think it's worthwhile. I've decided that it is worth the time for me to do it. But with that being said, now the podcast has a new release day. If we're recording on Fridays, you will get what froze.
I froze for a second.
Oh,
Continue.
okay.
Sorry.
Okay. See, like this will be cut out of the actual audio, but it will be in the live action. So anyway, so I've decided that since I'm going to do post-production, I can't release the podcast the same night we record it. It's just it'll be too much work for me. So the new release date going forward for our podcast is check it out. Check us out every Saturday. You'll get the new episodes posted everywhere that you want to be. So that is a new thing for you guys to hear for the Geek Bros.
Start your weekend off right with the Geek Bros.
Exactly. And of course, just an inside thing, we are looking into advertising with a marketing firm that specializes in audio productions and podcasts specifically. So don't be surprised you start hearing our buttery voices on ads on iHeart, Pandora, and TuneIn, and a few more. So look forward to that as we branch out further. So if this is your first time listening to our broadcast, please take a moment to subscribe and leave a review on your favorite podcasting app. Please, it'll help us out. If you're watching us, then don't forget to subscribe, comment, and share. YouTube has recently changed the algorithm to favor corporate channels, so independent productions like ours are being recommended. It's reducing our views, limiting our exposure to new audience. So, without further ado, episode 103 starts now. We're going to move on to the Fresh Scent. And yes, if you guys had tuned into last,
I liked it actually.
You heard it? Did you hear it? Did you hear it?
Yes, I liked it.
Okay, so I liked it. The last episode for the Fresh Scent, what we had before we changed the format, even before Roz joined us, and actually I think before Flex and Garbanzo became regulars, we had a certain format, and I had our resident affiliate voiceover guy do a bunch of voiceovers for our segments at the time. Open mic, hot mic time, Nintendo Life. So for the first time ever, I actually experimented with using his voiceover as a segment break. So when we go Fresh Scent, I cut to the Fresh Scent with his voice and with a little thing in the background. And so watch, you heard it, yes? What did you think?
Yes, I did. I enjoyed it actually. I enjoyed it. It was nice. It was different.
It was different, right? So in our attempt to seem more professional, you don't be so surprised if you hear more of those I guess you'd call them not session station IDs, but segment breaks using our resident voiceover guy, the deep voice individual. I forget what his name is, but yes. So look forward to that. All right, video games out this week brought to you by Juancho.
All right.
I think.
What's going on? What's going on, y'all? All right, let's do it. On August 10th, you had It's Wrong to Try to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon, Infinite Combat. So I guess it's a fighting game. It's all for PC. It says here The Risk of Rain 2, August 11th. I guess that it finally released from its digital try no, sorry, their early release game. So the full game is out on PC. Deja Vu on August 12th on PC. Darkestville Castle on PS4 on August 13th. It says here Factorio, but Factorio's been out for a while. I'm pretty sure that was the early release date.
It's Factorio 1.0.
Yeah, so the full game's out on PC. And Arcade Archive Super Punch out August 14th for the Switch. And that's all I got for you today, homies.
Oh, snap. That is a quick video games out this week. That's what I like. That's what
Don't
I
you
like.
miss it? Don't you miss it? You miss it though. Don't you miss like the whole like list of games?
I missed
Bad reading.
I missed
Yep.
I hate you
One
so
day.
much.
All right, we're gonna move on to Blizzard employees have revolted as they announcedly share their pay data. This article comes from GameSpot.com.
Thank
Dated
you for bringing that up.
which part?
The Blizzard, it's like a nice continuity from last season.
Last what?
Last week's.
Oh, okay. I was saying for your previously on last season on Keepin of the Geek Bros. Blizzard Entertainment staff are revolting over pay disparities after an internal study meant to ensure fair wages didn't produce the desired results for workers. An anonymous spreadsheet passed around by employees revealed far lower pay increases than they said they were expecting. So this is despite CEO Bob Kotick. Yeah.
Bobby Kotick. Yeah.
Bobby Kotick making a salary that dwarfs many in the industry. So what do you guys think? This is we discussed this and how they're I assumed that they were doing it for the love of the game. I said they're doing it because Blizzard has clout and they can trash their thing. How do we feel about this Roz? Oh, now Roz, you specifically said that the reason why they do this is because they're afraid of being targeted or blacklisted in the industry.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel now that even though it's anonymous allegedly that they're taking these measures now? Is the fear gone or
No, it just verifies what I was saying. Nobody's coming out and overtly saying this.
Right.
They have the umbrella of anonymity over them. And go ahead.
Isn't it still a risk though for them to go that far?
Not really. Again, this isn't new. The risk is having your name assigned to a complaint or trying to create some kind of union within the game industry right now. But Jason Schreier, this is part of an ongoing investigation and report that he's been doing with Blizzard and Activision. So again, nothing changes. This is just more fuel on the fire of Activision and Blizzard just woefully underpaying their employees.
Do you think they're going to suffer any repercussions from this? Because you said that they are union busting, and this is probably as close to unionizing as they've got.
Not really. There's not really anything that's going to happen. Nothing beneficial is going to come from this, and nothing detrimental to the employees other than what they're dealing with now. They haven't really come together to create or to try to create a union within Activision Blizzard. Is something going to change? Hopefully. Again, this looks really bad, especially to the Activision shareholders. Mm-hmm. Nobody likes negative press. So we'll see what does happen. Hopefully something good, because the industry is in a bad place right now financially. So
I mean, my question real quick is because maybe I'm just unaware or just really completely naive about this, but when you're dealing with I would think that with everything that's been going on, people staying home, people playing a lot more games, and people buying it, people buying a lot more games, whether they're from Amazon or digital copies. I would think that they're actually making good money this year, if not more than previous years. So far,
Blizzard did hit their quarter. They actually oversee their quarter. I think I reported that last time based on their, I think it was in Bloomberg, that they actually got to really high quarters. But at the same time, their employees are getting paid less than $40K a year. And
wow.
So yeah, I mean,
that's rough, man. Especially in current living standards. I mean, I don't care where you live. But,
and I think Raz mentioned it. This is in California where they're living at. So
it's based out of California?
Yeah, man, Blizzard.
Damn.
Yeah.
Oh,
Blizzard's in Irvine.
Oh, there's no way. How do they survive at $40K a year?
Rooming together. I think they room together. I mean, some of these artists and designers, they room together to
Nobody
pay
else.
rent.
I totally heard somebody screaming for their life.
Not me. I don't know.
Sorry, that's Jillian. She's watching some dumbass fucking horror movie.
Oh, okay.
Oh my god! It was just
That wasn't a movie,
it was the funniest. Ah!
Yeah, I was like, well, shit. Keep it going, because that's a dead person.
That was so. Why don't you put a picture back on? Damn it! Why I have to ask you? All right. You can look at podcasts sometimes, but it's so funny. Oh.
So what you were saying about people being home and etc. Yeah, like more people are playing games, but it's a small group of games that are being very successful right now. A good example of that is Animal Crossing. Animal Crossing sold 22 million in its in the first 3 months of its sale, but there aren't a lot of new AAA games coming out. We're at the end of a console cycle, so games they're just not releasing.
All right, I got you.
And at the end of the year, we have 2 consoles launching with a horrible launch layout. There's like no exclusives, no new games. This has been a really bad year for gaming.
Yeah, overall.
Yeah. No, I see what you're saying. No, because the whole thing is, I remember that when I actually visited San Francisco back in, I remember like 17. No, it wasn't. It was 07. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
In 07, even then, the cost of living was like one of the taxi drivers that I had. He's like, "Oh yeah, this is my second job," and and my apartment's like only like 350 square feet, and it's like I have to have a second job, and my wife has to have a job, so it takes 3 jobs for a 350 square foot apartment in San Francisco. I was like, that's high, and I thought Miami was bad.
No, it's the median. Because my fiance and I were looking to California over the last couple months, but the median living cost for a house there is 1.3 million, and that's not a great house.
What?
Wow.
I mean, when I lived there, it sucked. I mean, I was in the military, so obviously I had free housing, but I moved around between California and Hawaii, man. It sucks to live there, and I don't think they really adjust too much for the cost of living as well either. Unless you work for the government.
Are you talking, Garbanzo? Because we
sorry.
Can't hear you.
So I actually had when I had gotten recruited from a hotel chain, a luxury hotel chain, for Hawaii, to come in over there as a senior management position, and the monetary offer was exactly what I was making here, exactly to the penny. And I told the guy, I'm like, there's no way you're going to need to increase that by almost 30 grand for me to actually continue living in my current lifestyle, because everything costs more. There's shipping, forget 2-day shipping. That no longer exists for me. That's, you have to wait at least a week.
Importation, yeah.
Milk cost almost triple.
Milk is expensive, dude. $7.
That's what I thought they were kidding. So after I did my research, I apologized to him and I said, no, I'm sorry, I can't. And sadly, it closed other doors by me doing so, because I was offered the job out of a recommendation for somebody else. But it doesn't matter, man. I'm not gonna. I was no. Sorry.
Yeah. So takeaway is they need more money.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
I absolutely agree. And on that, we're going to move on to End Zone, a World Apart review. Juancho,
alrighty. So this is not a full review. Yeah, this is not a full review.
Wait a minute.
I got it.
Are you going to read? No, but are you going to read what it is or no?
Yeah.
No, I put a little.
Bro.
Okay, carry on.
I got you. A post-apocalyptic survival city builder where you start a new civilization with a group of people after a global nuclear disaster. Build them a new home, ensure their survival in a shattered world threatened by constant radiation, toxic rain, sandstorms, and droughts.
Sounds like a game I can't play on my laptop.
This game is still okay. This game is still on stages of being developed. I was able to get the early access on it. You can actually purchase it on Steam. I think $25. The game is basically a survival game. If you guys have Xbox Game Pass, you guys can get the Frostpunk. It's similar to Frostpunk. It just plays a different mechanic. It's very hard, but very fun. You start off with a van. It's a post-apocalypse van and a few survivors. And then with those survivors, you build watering hose so you can get the water. And then you build the houses, and then you build lumber, and then you build. So slowly but surely, you develop a village. And within that village, you want to expand it and try at the same time. But at the same time, the system is giving you nuclear rain, droughts, so your water gets dried out. So you have to make sure you store enough water. You have to make sure you have enough food because if there's no water, you have to make sure that it's a very intricate game, very complex. But
sounds like a good time for the family.
So basically it's Fallout Shelter.
Yes, it actually is because you're funny you say that.
That's
because,
that's not a sales pitch.
If you look,
I like Fallout Shelter.
if you look at
it's busy work,
if you
but I
look
love
at
it.
the
Is it like 7 Days to Die?
when you go, when you look at when you're exploring the land, there's actually a bunker that says like something that from Fallout. So that's where that comes
Sounds
from.
like
So
7 Days to Die.
I will check it out. I'm gonna keep playing it as the games keep going on. I'm gonna check it out.
Is it like Sonic Adventure?
No, the next update. always. And then the next update should be up next week. So yes, check it out. It's on Steam. And we'll see.
Can
Enjoy
I play it on my
there.
laptop?
Check it out.
How bad is it for the computer? Can I play
What
it
kind
on-
of? Is your laptop from 1997 still?
No,
XP?
it's not 1997. It's not that one.
97?
That one stopped working. No, I'm using, I don't know, maybe a early 2000s.
Are you still? Can your computer handle Civilization 6
No,
without burning and trying
no,
to
it
boot itself
won't.
up?
No,
So
no.
that it's not ready for it.
It's not ready for it. Okay, I gotta buy a new laptop. I
Can
need.
I put it on my Palm Pilot?
There we go.
That's
I
not
still
funny.
Kama Sutra on that.
Palm Trio.
Look, Roz,
377,
why
what
don't
was
you
it?
go on
750.
Amazon and find me a cheap
Mm-hmm.
$500 or less laptop?
Okay.
That's decent, and so I can buy that.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. I'll get it right on that. Yeah.
I appreciate it. Thanks so much. See, this is a good man. It's a good man. All right. We're moving on to the Genki converter dock. Just throwing it out. This article is from Gizmodo.com. Now, this converter dock is a portable dock that also charges other devices. It's basically substitutes for the docking station for the Switch. And it's pretty cool. It's small. It doesn't brick the Switch. It's $75 though, so it's pretty expensive, and it doesn't come with an HDMI cord. And you need an outlet. So if your TV is not close to an outlet, or doesn't have an additional outlet, you might have to get a little
extension cord.
That or creative with it. But it seems like that's the cure for those who want to move their stuff in and have a problem with unpiecing a dock together, putting a dock back downstairs. I'm buying it. I will be getting it because I would love to play.
Wait, what are you buying?
It is the Genki converter dock. It allows you to play Switch on the TV without the docking station thingy.
But here's the problem.
Wait, hold on.
Is it licensed through Nintendo? Hold on,
no, it's not
serious.
licensed through Nintendo.
It says right here, an officially licensed Nintendo product.
What, Nintendo? Is it you said Nintendo?
Seems legit.
As long as it's legit, because I know some of these docks have issues that have caused
but it's not
actually
to fry
mess
out.
up and stop working.
It's not a docking station. It's it's a converter plug.
But he's right though. This also supplies power.
Yeah, because if you got to plug it to the TV, it supplies power. So it's not like
so. What it is it's basically a wall wart. You plug it into the wall. It has a USB-C port, a USB A port, and an HDMI port. You plug in a C to C, which goes from your Switch to the wall,
docking,
and then you plug the HDMI cable into your TV. So it's powering the Switch. So if it's not licensed by Nintendo, it could brick your Switch.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it does. All I can say is that from per Gizmodo.com did not brick my Switch. That's what it says.
I'm not saying it would.
Right. It is. Yeah, it is. Anything that's not licensed by Nintendo. But I don't know why Nintendo wouldn't have something like that. That's quite amazing. So just throwing that out there. That's all that really matters.
I didn't take you for a guy who likes docking, but this does sound pretty
Man,
true.
you've been fishing for that joke for like the last 5 minutes.
It's because
he was salivating for it. I saw.
I know.
Camera. It's because he said that he doesn't have the hardware that he needs for docking. And
No,
which
I got it.
That's definitely not what I said. I never
At
said
first,
it.
you cast like a regular fishing line, and then you started casting bigger and bigger nets until you just like drove in
listen,
with a
I was
monster
trying to
truck
throw
and
marshmallows
dropped
into
it
an alligator
off.
pit.
No, you know what?
Makes sense.
We are moving on to inebriated fitness.
Oh.
Darflex is an exercise physiologist with the BS. You have the outline.
No. I mean, because I'm actually kind of excited for this.
Yes, Darflex is an exercise physiologist with a BS in exercise and sports science. He's a certified CSCS strength conditioning coach, a CISSN sports nutritionist, sports injury specialist, and currently an MMA weight cut specialist and nutritionist. Why do some men have man boobs? A testosterone discussion. Now, here's the background to that. I was reading an article that said that men develop man boobs not just from weight gain, but because of low testosterone and increased estrogen, and that's made me. And that was then of course maybe lead down the path of should I get a testosterone pill or whatever, which I was going to talk to you about whether that means anything. So I want to ask you: is that credible? Is it true that man boobs is a symptom of not just weight gain or fat or cellulite, but also low T and more E?
So this is a pretty good question because the way it's regurgitated is pretty vague, right? So in short, yes, low testosterone in a sense does, but I mean, it's still be pretty low. Like just from looking at us here, I can tell you all of us have lower than average testosterone because of how fat we are, but it's not low enough to where we're going to get man boobs, right?
Okay.
There's a difference between.
So why do I have man boobs?
Because first of all, let me finish because I'm trying not to be mean. I'm trying to be sensitive here. I don't know. I'm just going to use the word fat or overweight, but
right.
So when you gain weight, obviously you're going to deposit fat in the chest area, waist and hips the most, right? Just the way the body works. And when you lose weight, you can't spot check weight, right? Like the weight pulls from everything, like the fat pulls from everything. You can't just do abs and you'll lose fat in your belly. That's bullshit. That's like Herbalife mentality, right?
Ooh.
Or Herbalife logic. But so to your question with testosterone and man boobs, so there's a difference between man boobs, like some of us have because we're overweight or obese, and then there's a difference between actual man boobs, as in breasts, from a condition called gynecomastia, right, or commonly known as gyno in the gym. And that typically does happen because you have a huge imbalance between testosterone and estrogen. It's more commonly seen when you're taking hormone therapy, like if you're taking steroids and you come off of it improperly without a PCT kit, which is a post-cycle therapy kit or post-cycle test kit, whichever. So when you don't do that improperly, because you have you had such a high level of exogenous testosterone inside your body's reaction is to start producing more estrogen to counteract that, right? Typically, when you're on a cycle, you take estrogen blockers or another. I'm going to use the word steroid just because but it's not a steroid. But something like Clomid, which is a pretty aggressive estrogen blocker. A lot of people get off of their cycle and don't do a proper post-cycle kit or therapy, and they get the gynecomastia or gyno, and then they get actual boobs, nipples get bigger, resembling breasts, right? Like I would say the best. You ever seen the movie Fight Club?
We don't talk about that.
Yes.
Okay, you remember Bob? The guy with boobs?
Sir.
That's
Logo boobies.
gynecomastia. Yeah, that's gynecomastia. Okay, so again, like I said, all of us here have lower testosterone than we should because all of us here are fat or overweight, whatever. But it's not low enough to where we have low libido. It's not low enough to where you lose energy, crazy like that. Definitely not low enough for us to have man boobs, though it can happen. And it's pretty tough to kind of quantitate something like this because so if you look at the studies, they'll say, for example, if you look at your BMI, for every point of BMI you gain, you lose 3% of your testosterone.
Really?
Wait, let me finish. That's a very poor study.
Okay.
Because for you to apply that to no, it is because for you to say something like that, you know how many test subjects you're going to need, and you're going to have to put in a very, very disadvantageous situation, which is having low testosterone. And for you to find that many subjects with low testosterone actually having to participate, it's quite difficult. A lot of them drop out, or you just can't find them because low testosterone is to the point that you have gynecomastia is not very common unless you're taking hormone therapy. So what some of us have here, like I'm starting to get them a little bit because I'm out of shape, but not out of shape. I'm actually in still very good shape. I'm just eating a lot. But all that is fatty tissue depositing. Again, it's going to go straight to your chest, your midsection, hips, sometimes your arms. It just depends on your genetics. It's going to deposit differently. I can say nobody here has to worry about gyno. Man boobs, yeah. I think everybody in this Zoom call has man boobs. Yeah, boobs. But that's just simple increase in body fat and the way it deposits.
That's
what I'm saying. That, okay.
Flex. So back when I was 17, 18 years old, when I was very heavily working out because of sports and things like that, before I actually ended up getting injured and took a 30-year break. I'm kidding. I was part of my supplement regimen was high doses of androstenedione, and back then, which was Rip Fuel, but it was one that was taken off the shelf for a while because there was side effects of increased estrogen. I didn't know this until maybe a year after taking it almost consistently.
That's why you're so in touch with your feelings. I was wondering.
Yes, but that was that's. I was raised properly. That's another thing. So that being and I have listen, I'm not gonna sit here and say that I've always had issues with thinning out my core, especially around even when my stomach goes down. The extra it just takes a lot longer, and I always assumed that might have been because even when I was in great shape, I still started having issues where the pecs did not always look as
pecky,
as pecky as you would like them,
Yeah.
And so as far as the muscular development, really that wouldn't have much to do with low testosterone, unless you went from Arnold Schwarzenegger to Amy Schumer or something. But
mute your thing, Swancho. Mute it. I think it's you. I'm not sure.
All right, so I'll try to talk over that. Okay, so and again, if you're worried about low testosterone, which there's ways to treat it. If you're someone who has low testosterone, you can go to the doctor, see an endocrinologist. They'll give you a cream or something. In my opinion, the best solution to it, one, make sure you're not messing up your hormones by doing steroids and doing it properly. Because if you do steroids properly, for the most part, they're pretty safe and they have a lot of benefits. But just don't abuse it. Just like anything else, you can abuse it. TRT, testosterone replacement therapy, is a very easy way to treat it. It's also, even if you don't have gyno or man boobs, TRT is a pretty beneficial kind of therapy that older gentlemen can benefit from. I don't recommend it under the age of 45, and again, TRT is not steroids. People demonize it because obviously if you're on TRT and you play a sport, you do get banned for it. But all it's doing is bringing your testosterone levels back down to if you were like 23 or something. You're not getting a high level to where you're trying to compete for Mr. Olympia. It's just regulating your hormones, bringing them down to a proper level. So again, it's something, if you're worried about low testosterone, for sure, don't buy test off the street. Go to a doctor. It's not illegal to buy steroids. Let me repeat that. It is not illegal to buy steroids if you see an endocrinologist. And for the most part, if you really do need it, they'll say yes. And even if you just want to feel better, you don't really need it, they will say yes. And it's much better to do it that way because you get proper dosing, less chance of overdosing, less chance of abuse, and less chance of taking it when you have cancerous cells or any kind of other underlying issues that will make it worse from something like testosterone or especially growth hormone or IGF-1.
Just to kind of piggyback on that, I got a question for you because I have seen urologists many moons ago, and in referencing to my test levels, and it was a little low. The big thing that he did mention was apparent, and this is actually something that actually my mother taught me because when she was going through her cancer treatment, estrogen feeds her cancer and feeds a lot of cancers.
Yes.
Her specific breast cancer was extremely like she could no longer drink soy or any kind of soy product. No edamame, nothing. It had soy because it would increase your estrogen levels. And also, but for the I think it's the belly fat has the highest concentration. The more belly fat you have, a higher concentration. It creates a lot more estrogen. Is that correct?
So not necessarily belly fat. So what most studies show is that fat cells, because so steroids, which is like cholesterol, testosterone, estrogen, proestrogen, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So steroids are all fat soluble. It seems that fat cells themselves metabolize testosterone into estrogen.
Oh,
not at like a alarming level, but the more
depends on how fat you are, though. I mean, the amount of fat would actually increase that dramatically. I can see that definitely. Yeah, I get you.
So the more adipose tissue you have, the more you're going to take free testosterone and metabolize it to something like estrogen, which, yes, it can give you diminishing returns in the sense of what we're talking about now.
Okay.
So, which I guess brings true to that study I said earlier, that for every point on your BMI you go up, you lose 3% of testosterone levels. I mean, that's really vague, but the idea is kind of the same. The more fatty tissue you have,
I get you,
the less testosterone you're going to have. And that's, I think that's pretty obvious in most cases, because you definitely feel the symptoms. It's not like you have to, they're not quantitative, they're qualitative. You can definitely see your loss of energy, loss of boners, stuff like that. So.
Awesome, and thank you.
Oh, thank you,
Oh, wait,
sir.
one more thing. If you guys want to look into like holistic ways to boost your testosterone, broccoli is a great source.
Really?
Yes.
Ooh.
I mean, again, it's not going to make the same
Drenched with
difference as
butter
something like,
and cheese, or
What?
What the?
We can't hear you, Roz.
I haven't talked in a while. It's squelched again.
Yes.
I was going to say, I think you have to drink a cup of olive oil for every head of broccoli you eat, right? That's the healthy balance.
For nobody's gonna do it. Well, I think most of us, depending on how we cook, we probably do that now. As long as you're not doing butter, like fucking.
Yo, like I'm literally in my head. I actually pictured pouring a glass like this big of olive oil and staring at it, going, "God, this doesn't seem like a good idea."
I will say though,
the shits are gonna come out so fast.
Yes, absolutely.
But
smoothest.
Yes. I will say this.
No constipation here, buddy.
In reference to Vibe's comment with the butter, if you use real grass-fed butter, it has a high level of CLA, which is conjugated linoleic acid, and that does help transport long-chain fatty acids to the liver to break them down. So if you're gonna use dairy products like that, it's always best to go with the most natural source possible.
Kerry fucking Gold.
Yep.
Yep, I have it in the fridge right now. Kerry Gold.
Yeah, their ice cream is also very good, by the way. Thank you, Ross.
Yep. But again, CLA, very good ingredient in all grass-fed products. So.
Excellent.
Grass-fed
stuff.
So vegan, go vegan, everybody. All right, well, thank you, sir. If you want more fitness or nutrition tips, or you'd like to see some of the sweet UFC posts, then follow my man here on Instagram. That's Darth_Flex, DARTH_FLEXX, not triple X, 2 X's. All right, we're moving on to Garbanzo's Corner. Garbanzo.
All right, so I actually I'm glad.
Read your bullet point first.
I was gonna get there.
Oh, sorry.
But first, I wanted to say thank you. I'm sorry that I wasn't here last week. I apologize for that. I'm things have been kind of happening.
You'll have some explaining to do.
That's right. But one thing I will say is that I'm just excited talking about these topics since last week. So, the things the first thing I wanted to kind of go over was actually about audiobooks and bibliophiles and how they can enjoy things when they aren't able to read. And
I'm sorry, I have to interrupt you right there. Mr. Madman is in the building. Madman?
Oh, what?
I added him. There he is. Madman's in the building.
That was a very serious fit. There you go, sir.
Madman is in the building.
Welcome, sir.
What's up, Madman?
Take a picture when we're in a few. Juancho, you gotta stay on until the end. We're gonna take another picture, okay? Mr. Madman, thank you for joining us.
Just use the flamer picture.
Yeah, just,
I don't want to use the flamer picture. Okay. Is your audio working, Mr. Madman? We can't hear you.
Can you hear us?
Say something. Nope, not can't hear
Nope,
anything.
not there.
All right, so while you fix
says it's
that,
still connected.
Garbanzo, Dr. Garbanzo's Corner and audiobooks.
All right, so I've been in a bibliophile for since I was a kid. I love books. I love having the physical copies and just really enjoy the smell of a book. When I go to the bookstore, like Barnes and Nobles, I used to go there with all the time with my mom, and then or go to the used bookstore, like a secondhand bookstore, and it just that smell, like the library smell. Like I always, that moldy kind of weird book smell. It's kind of hard to explain, but it's just you either like it or you don't. And I always love that. So
You need a towel?
So I guess.
It sounds like you need a towel. You're salivating there.
Yeah.
Smell of book.
So but in the last, I want to say the last 2 years, when I started driving, I started spending a lot more time out, and
getting it in,
or yeah, I guess,
getting it out,
or working. That could be it. And I had a lot less free time. And I would have to kind of choose, like, oh, I really want to play that video game, or I really want to go watch this movie, or I have to choose reading at night, and I would end up reading a lot less, where a book would take me a few weeks to read, if maybe not a few months. And I kind of missed that. So I kind of rediscovered Audible or audiobooks, and if you get the right narrator, and I get them unabridged, and I actually still, even after I buy the physical copy, I buy the unabridged, and sometimes I'll listen to it just because they'll have some music and kind of things that kind of help that my imagination kind of flow with it. And I start, and I can enjoy the actual physical book with the actual audio, but it also helped me actually read a lot more, or listen to books a lot more, especially because I was doing long drives to work. Sometimes when you just, kind of like in the kitchen, cooking something or cleaning or anything like that, like you just have it going on, doing chores, so you can actually do more than one thing at a time. It's kind of like it's a cheat code on being able to, like, kind of read and also do things besides just sitting there and enjoying it. Though the point, it's multitasking, but, like, don't get me wrong, it doesn't really compete with just actually sitting there and enjoying it, but it's still a way for someone like myself who enjoys it, who want to hear the whole story, to be able to do so. And also the Audible has a comparison with I think it's called WhisperSync with Kindle, so you can actually buy the Kindle version and use the Audible version, and it'll track and to where you're listening to it and where you're actually reading it, so you can actually listen to it, go home, read it, and then it'll pick up on the audiobook where you finish reading. It's actually kind of cool.
That is kind of cool. I want to just throw in there that I thought audiobooks were a joke until Mr. Juancho, lovely Mr. Juancho, insisted that I check Catalyst, the Rogue One prequel book. Insisted so much that he sent it to me as a free book, and I was shocked by the intro. I was shocked by, this is Audible, and then it went, damn, long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. I heard music, I heard sound effects, and I was like, oh my God, I like this.
I've been the reason for a lot of your things then. I got you into podcasting. I got you into audiobooks. I mean, I've been an inspiration in your life.
That notwithstanding, he did open my world to audiobooks, and now I own so many audiobooks. It's crazy. I've just started branching out beyond Star Wars audiobooks, and I can't recommend it enough. It's great. That's what I listen to whenever I'm doing anything.
And this is a great way kind of to segue into the next part, because actually one of the other topics I want to talk about was a new book being released. By the new Star Wars expanding universe, maybe the book verse per se. I want to call it
deep breaths.
It's
I know it's exciting.
It's actually coming out September 1st. It's the new, this new Thrawn trilogy. So for those who have been Star Wars fans for more than 5 years, Um, we've heard of 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 the Chiss ascendancy, and also of Mithra Naruto, or as you know, Thrawn himself. So
he's blue, he's hunky, and he is smart.
And big bright eyes, big bright red eyes. So the Grand Admiral Thrawn originally was part of the Chiss ascendancy, and that's where he came from. Now, the previous Thrawn trilogy by Timothy Zahn that came out, the most recent one, part of the current universe, was basically how he entered the Empire and joined the Empire and rose in the ranks.
Yes.
Whereas Thrawn Ascendancy is going to go back into when his years in the Chiss Ascendancy and how he rose to become the legend in the Chiss Ascendancy that he is. So
I don't want any prequels. I want the story.
Yeah.
To
Also,
continue.
is the Timothy Zahn books, are they canon or not anymore? I don't remember.
Yes, they are.
Not
His
the
current
original
books,
ones.
not the original ones. Extended Universe is still Extended Universe.
Okay, so not the good ones. But okay, got it.
Well, hold on now.
These aren't bad either.
They're not bad. These Thrawn books aren't that bad. They're not that bad.
Yeah, no. Sure.
Have you read the Thrawn books? Have you?
No, he's right though. I'm not gonna lie. The original Thrawn trilogy that was the Heir to the Empire, and that is by far probably one of my favorite.
And Thrawn Strikes Back, right?
Hey, Garbanzo, you remember we got to touch Timothy Zahn's hand?
Yeah.
Where was I?
It was actually
Magic
at
City Comic Con.
It was actually one here a couple years ago. It was actually one of the conference. I asked him was, so please tell me you're going to be writing books again for the new canon, and he was like, I can't really discuss in detail.
I knew it. I can't confirm or deny that fact.
I can't really discuss in detail, but I would love to be able to write again for Star Wars, and that was basically all he said. And then, like 3 months later, like me and Flex looking at each other because they just announced that Timothy Zahn was bringing Thrawn back, and I was like, "See, fuck yeah!" I was super excited. But I think Timothy Zahn, along with many other amazing writers that actually from Star Wars novels, I'm just a pleasure to be able, and I'm looking forward to this book. And also, I love the narrators. The narrator for the majority of is oh my god, his name is Michael. No, wait.
No, wait. I know you're talking about
Jay Fox.
Mark Thompson.
Mark Thompson is the best.
He's been doing it even before in the extended universe, the Jedi Chronicles, and it was his voice that was Han screaming in my ear when he watched Chewie get hit by a freaking.
Hey, spoilers.
Listen, if you don't know that by now, then whatever.
Too soon.
It's been over 20 years. It's okay. You know what? And to me, he is the voice of Star Wars.
Yes.
The way he does the different characters, it's embedded in my head.
Now, did he do the voice? Did he do the voice of Thrawn in these books? Because he sounded. Yeah. Are you sure? Because he sounds exactly like the person who does it on Rebels. So, like,
he does the voice. He does the voice of Thrawn, Leia, Luke, Han, Lando.
Spot on impression of the way it is in Rebels. I thought it was the same guy in Rebels.
You never know. He actually might have been hired for Rebels. I don't even know.
He might have because I have to look that up because when I was like, wait a minute, is that the same guy from Rebels? It sounds exactly the same. So it works for me.
So the book drops in physical copies as well as digital on audible.com. Send us free stuff, semi-free audiobooks. Hell yeah.
So I will. Roz, are you gonna check this book out or no?
He's not.
No chance in hell.
Have you checked out any of the Thrawn books in the new?
Hell's not real.
No.
Why?
I don't give a shit
about the.
I'm sorry. I don't.
Okay.
Why would I read the books? I don't like the new Star Wars.
Well,
universe.
we do a lot of shit at least I do a lot of shit that I don't like for this podcast.
No, I know. I listen. Okay. I appreciate that, but I'm just saying this.
Like watching fucking Birds of Prey.
I'm not gonna read those books. I don't like where Star Wars is going. You know, I don't know, man.
I personally would say that. I mean, they're not as good as original. And yes, he's hamstrung by by canon and stuff, but I think he does like he said at Celebration in Orlando, fitting the character into that timeline with that was the only hurdle, but it's still the same character at least in his mind.
Man. But listen, I read, gosh, I think well over 50 books from like the non-canon universe now.
Right.
I don't like when they just said, hey, none of this is real or exists and it doesn't matter anymore. I just lost interest.
Yeah.
I'm like, I do not want to invest my time in reading a book that honestly, what does it matter? Like in 10 years, Disney might be like, we're rebooting again. And obviously the response to that is like, what does it matter? It's a fictional universe. But it's like, I really would have liked to see some continuation of those stories. So having to reinvest and not see any of that continue to adapt and be expanded upon it's kind of crushing, man. So that's why it's like those new books they may be good.
One of the biggest and I will say that I understand where you're coming from, and I'm not even gonna. I get it. You know what? Because I was like that for a while, and then out of curiosity, I picked up a couple books, and just the way that it being Mark Thompson and everybody, and I kind of just enjoyed it. And just for me, more Star Wars is good Star Wars. Sometimes it may not be my favorite, but I understand 100% because I actually it was rough. But I forgot to mention, I have a copy of Heir of the Empire first edition signed by Timothy Zahn.
Oh, okay.
I just want to throw that out there because I'm really proud of that.
You think it's so cool?
Okay.
All right. Matt, is your audio?
And it's Ian's.
Yeah, I think I fixed it.
Oh, fantastic! That's what
Lars Milkinson. Milkelson.
Yeah, Mikkelsen. Yes, Mads
Mikkelsen. Yeah.
Yeah, he's the voice of Thrawn on Rebels.
That's cool.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Well, anyway, it's spot on impression. But no, I just as my final thought, I guess I could see where Roz is coming from. I never got into the expanded universe, the books. I just like the movies and the cartoons. So I probably would have been just as reluctant or hesitant or rejecting the new books and material as well if I was that invested. So I wasn't. So when they told me, okay, we're restarting everything, we're gonna start. It's all gonna be connected. I was like, okay, good. Well, fresh start for me. Let me just jump into it. And the Aftermath books, they got me. I love the Aftermath books. So
I'm going to give you fair warning. There's a couple books that I would love for you to check out. It may if you listen to some of the old ones, you may never look at the. You're gonna hate everything that came out for the sequel trilogy. Like legit, you're gonna once you hear all of the amazing stories that are there.
Kenobi was amazing. Kenobi was that book.
Kenobi's only the tip of the iceberg compared to some of the stuff that's coming.
You guys had seen the text message when I read Kenobi, and I said, "Wait a minute, this is what the Disney Plus series would be. Just this, adapt this book. This is perfect. It doesn't break canon. It's a great story." So I mean, but I did Kenobi. I did Thrawn's the two Thrawn, the trilogy and the duology. I did those two. There were a few. I was trying to get into the Jedi New Academy because I want to know about the Yuzan Vong War, but I got so confused on where to follow the story, I gave up on that. So I can
put together a list for you if you want. I have them all.
Please, because I'd love to follow that. I'm curious about the Yuzan Vong story. I'm all about that, but I know it's spread across everywhere, and I don't get it, so I gave up. So
the new Jedi Order, and then the one that post Yuzan Vong.
Yes.
When one of these Solo twins ends up becoming a Darth Lord.
Exactly.
It's amazing. That is a fantastic book series. They never finished it. They were going to go into this whole the Sword of the Jedi, and then they announced that no longer exists. Maybe
they'll go back there. Maybe they'll bring it back. They brought back.
No, they won't. They never will.
I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. All right, so let's move on to your last topic before we move on to the next segment.
Since we're talking about Disney's fuck ups, so the it's so recently for those who do not know, Walt Disney World is open. They are doing and for those who have been there and seen it, and I actually know people that have gone, and they're doing everything they can to kind of be able to supply jobs for people, because that's the way I'm trying to look at it, and making sure people try to be as safe. And they have certain restrictions that they are really not letting. They're not hesitating. If you have to have your mask on, it has to be the proper kind of mask. It cannot have any. It can't be porous or any air. It has to be filtered at least through 2 layers. It has to be secured at all times. They are really not budging with that. If they see people who are not getting too close together, things like that, then they separate people. If not, then they actually people that has to leave. My buddy Eric ended up going this past weekend. He said he actually witnessed that. So that was actually
Yeah, kicked out.
Well, they were asked to leave the area, and then they were actually escorted out. Supposedly, I don't know if they were escorted out or not. I don't know. I wasn't there, so I can't say. Allegedly. There you go. Perfect.
You're the one that was escorted out.
But at this point in time, Disneyland is not. Disneyland has not opened. Along with even not I think it's Not Berry Farm, right?
Yeah,
Knoxberry Farm. They actually they had just started to open recently, from my understanding. But Disneyland is actually, I think it's because California, their stuff is still pretty high, and they're actually very, very. I guess the word is hesitant to make sure. Smart. Yeah, that was when I go next to it. But I want to point out a couple things in reference to all of this. They are what bothered me about the article, because I did read the whole thing, and what bothered me really about the article is how they're comparing this year's numbers to last year's numbers, and they're saying, "Oh my God, there's such a loss, and this, that, and the other, and blah 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 blah," and they're losing all this money, which is why they're trying to use that as excuse to. Almost to justify why we have to reopen right away. Yes, I understand that you're at 94% less than last year, but also you've been closed for 50% of the year, and we're only in August. So you have to understand your numbers are going to be really off.
What is that?
I don't know.
You hear it goes to the machine.
No, someone's talking. You hear something.
No, it's the echo.
No,
yeah, it's Garbando's echoey.
Really?
Oh,
yes.
Hold on. Is that any better?
Microphones right next to each other.
Well, I was only hearing it just now. This is the first time I heard it.
Hold on, let me try something real quick.
No, it's gone. It's gone. No.
Now we don't hear
a thing. Now we don't hear
this. Is that better?
That's better. That's better. It's better.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
But so other parks are attempting different things, and I guess
everyone just go live.
I just asked the question.
and it's hard for me to, because the whole thing is, I get it. I'm not going to go, not this year. As much as I and everyone here knows,
I don't believe you.
I'm not going to go this year.
I don't believe you.
Didn't you already go?
I was in January. That was in January.
That's this year, man.
Okay, I'm not gonna go again. Okay, how about this? I'm not gonna go again this year. Okay, I went in December for my birthday, and came back with the best birthday gift I could have, a son. And and then we went back in January. We went there for 2 days to go visit some friends, and then we went to the park for a day, just take some pictures, and that's it. But we haven't gone since. And I honestly, after I've talked about it with the wife, and we may not even go for the next year, which is it's for us who we used to go every 3 months or so, we may not even update our annual pass for next year because of that.
I cancel mine.
We're actually because the whole thing is she has a free year because of hers was prepaid. Mine wasn't. So mine still expires, and I may or may not redo it. And if I do, I may drop it down a level to the silver or something.
That's serious.
Well, yeah, for someone who used to, how many day trips have I gone on? And like last year alone, I think I went like.
I was convinced you had a timeshare up there, but that's just.
I just want to say, don't feel so bad. You're about to have a fucking kid. It's not like you could drag the infant with you anyway.
Oh, once he can hold his head up straight and he's fine, then he's getting strapped to the chest and we're going on rides, bro.
I believe it.
Wrap up in bubble wrap. We're like, we got this, Papa. Let's go.
I like it.
But there's things, even if we weren't having a kid, honestly, we wouldn't be going. There's just too much at stake in with family and friends, and I've already, it's already hard enough where I have to go to work, on a regular basis and possibly risk my family, where I have to take a disinfect myself as soon as I walk in. But I think they're being kind of harsh on these numbers, and I think that it's just not necessary. That everyone should basically understand. I understand that at the end of the day, the shareholders want their money, and that's all they care about. And that's kind of where it gets a little frustrating, because honestly, if everyone would have just not been so individualistic and self-centered at the beginning of the situation, it wouldn't be lasting a year.
We don't have a leadership to do so.
And well, leadership aside, it also the fact that there is a my rights trump your rights kind of situation going on, regardless of the rhetoric. And it's a trickle down effect, but at the same time, there's still a lot of bullshit on the ground level, not just at the top. And the problem is that people need, regardless of how great or how good or bad our leader is, if the people are acting like total freaking selfish assholes, there's no matter how good of a president you have, or vice president, or senator, or Supreme Court judge, or anything, it's not going to really do anything unless people are willing to actually do the right thing and protect others, not just themselves.
Amen, brother. I appreciate it.
Someone had posted a comment on Instagram earlier today and got me started this whole bullshit. Like, they were complaining about people getting fined for wearing a mask and in South Florida in 95-degree weather. I'm like, dude, you're walking in a park in 95-degree weather, put a fucking umbrella up, or guess what? Stay the fuck home.
Hey.
That's what I do, man. Look, listen.
No, ain't nothing. Fuck yeah, stay home. Fuck,
dude. I want to go. Listen, here's the problem, and I'm sorry. This is not the rant that I wanted to go on today. It really not. But this really got me heated today. Earlier today, I guess I have to get it out. If not, I'm gonna crack. I want to go back to work. I am one of the 600,000 Marriott employees that wants to go back to work. Okay, I cannot go back to work because there are individuals out there who think that it's more important to walk around in somebody else's neighborhood, in somebody else's city, in somebody else's town, and get a suntan than be a decent human being and just protect others.
I'll do you one better. There are fucking assholes out there that will go out of their way to go to a sit-down fucking restaurant in the middle of a fucking pandemic, get your takeout, and get the shit home. Don't go to a fucking restaurant and sit down. You'll still give them the money. You'll still support the fucking business.
And it'll still be hot.
Going to a restaurant, taking your mask off, and eat, like, that makes no sense to me.
Okay,
People
but
get out of the cars, wear a mask to the
open.
restaurant, and then take it off.
But the restaurant, Roz, is open, and it's allowing people to do that. So how can
No, that's exactly what I'm saying. Wait. Get double fucked. It doesn't matter that they're letting you do it. You should have the presence of mind to say, hey, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't go to a place where I can either spread or catch this disease that is a pandemic. And people still go out of their way to go to sit-down restaurants in the middle of a pandemic. And people are like, why are the cases going up?
They're giving false reassurance that things are good, that they're wiping the stuff down.
And people are getting complacent.
But that's why they're going, though, Roz. It's not just if people all had common sense, there wouldn't be laws on the books.
Oh no, I agree with you. But when somebody doesn't have common sense, you don't say, "Oh well, shucks, too bad for them." No, you say, "Hey, you're a dipshit."
I'm not saying that. But,
and you educate them.
If they are doing something that you find to be ridiculous, but the opportunity is there to be ridiculous, then it's not just their fault.
Listen, man, the opportunity is there for me to shit in my shower and heel it down the drain, but I still don't do that.
That's gross.
Sorry. I forgot that conversation.
Okay. Just saying.
I forgot that conversation.
Just saying.
Yeah, people actually do that apparently. I didn't know that.
Really? Where did they go, though? I mean, it's not going to completely go down.
Oh, God, man. You're asking too many questions. I couldn't.
I
digress.
Next on Inebriated Fitness.
Yeah, right, exactly.
How to properly dump.
Do a study.
That is the perfect segue into Juancho all up in your face.
Up in your face, not for all up in your face.
Get your photo back up, motherfucker.
No, I don't wanna. Why? All right, so okay. So the first thing we want to talk about is how I feel Apple wants to try to be special and go up against two tech giants. I mean, tech giants because you have going Epic, one of the biggest gaming.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Wow.
Oh, what happened? You're gone. Wait.
I also like
can't hear
barbecue.
you.
Wait,
Oh
he
man,
like
that's
screamed
rough.
out to a crawl. That was
He's like
beautiful.
the big girls, bro.
Like literally, like your whole video slowed down, and we couldn't hear you at all. It was the most beautiful thing. You please watch this. You have to watch this.
Okay. I'm sorry. Please.
So
I swear to God, that was beautiful.
All right. Sorry. Apple. What now?
You have Epic. You have Epic Games, Fortnite, being taken down from the Apple Store, and then you have Epic suing Apple. But here's the thing: they're not suing them for money. I'm going to read something off the that actually Raz sent out. I think this is part of their lawsuit, right, Ross?
They're filing,
Yeah.
yes.
Yes,
It's part of their
Yeah,
filing.
in the filing. It says here, Epic brings this suit to end Apple's unfair, anti-competitive actions that Apple undertakes to unlawfully maintain its monopoly in two distinct multi-billion-dollar markets: the iOS app distribution market, the iOS in-app payment process market. Epic is now seeking monetary compensation from this court for the injuries it has suffered, nor Epic is seeking favorable treatment for itself, a single company. Instead, Epic is seeking injunction relief to allow fair competition in these two key markets and directly affect hundreds of millions of consumers and tens of thousands, if not more, of third-party app developers. This is funny because at the same time, last week that Microsoft had to end their xCloud service on the iPhone. This is big. This is big. This is companies going up against Apple saying enough is enough. I know the government has tried going against Apple. I don't know if things are going to change with Apple, but it's very interesting how things are happening for this tech giant.
All
What do you
right.
guys think?
I think you're right.
Also, I want to add to this and say Google removed Fortnite from the Play Store as well today for the same reason.
Wow.
Wow.
Mhm. And so you guys have some background on this. The reason that they were removed is Fortnite. Well, Epic pushed an update to Fortnite, which added the ability to do in-game purchases from within the app. You don't have to go through the app stores to buy your whatever the Fortnite money is called. I don't know, Mad Ducats. I forgot what it's called.
V-Bucks. V-Bucks.
There you go.
V-Bucks.
V-Bucks. So you don't. So Apple wasn't getting their
Ducats.
30% cut, and Google wasn't getting their 30% ducat cut either. So they removed it from the stores.
That's
You know what? I can't even. I mean, I can almost understand it at that point because it's about money. At the end of the day, it's like, why am I going to support
Yeah.
your product if I'm not going to make any money off of it?
On the other side of the coin, though, these are platforms which are, covered under the same monopoly rulings that made Microsoft have to offer, competing browsers when Netscape sued them.
Listen,
I forgot about Netscape. Oh my God.
Netscape was the truth, okay?
That was cute.
Ask Jeeves all day long.
So yeah. So basically, since these are full operating systems, it's going to be funky to see what happens.
Now, you think that
consoles
they-
aren't covered under the same thing, though.
So my question to you would be, in reference to this, so if they started charging people to buy them, because right now Fortnite is free, correct?
Sure.
On iOS?
Yeah, on everything.
Weska?
So if you want to play it on
Everywhere.
iOS, you want to play it in the Google Store or download from the Play Store, you got to pay for it. That way they get the 30%, but in one lump change, and that's it.
What do you think, Juancho?
I mean, if it goes on to having them actually put a full price on a game like this, will it change? Maybe, but is that something Epic wants to do with this game? I don't think, especially with the amount of following this game has for actually to have charge people for the game now. I'm pretty sure that Fortnite is gonna not be Fortnite anymore, and it's gonna be completely different of what we're used to seeing. And then the same thing is going to happen to all these other companies that have the same style of gameplay. Like what's the other game called that they're doing?
PUBG.
The Valorant? PUBG. The other one.
Yeah,
there's another
but
one.
a lot of those games have an upfront price. The big thing with Fortnite is that it's free to get. But they've also reached a saturation point. There's not a lot of new people jumping on the Fortnite game. If you're playing Fortnite, you're playing it. If you haven't played or if you don't play Fortnite, you're not going to start now. So even if they started charging $5 for Fortnite, it's not like they'd make a ton of money because they don't get, a million new subs. They're making all their money from in-app purchases, people buying skins, etc.
But at the same time, it is big as well for because Epic is trying to do something that it's like they're trying to be a Steam. They're trying to actually control a lot of their of the gaming industry, especially with trying to get exclusive deals on their store download store, and having them do this and doing that. It's like I feel like they're trying to take control over the market and trying to be like, you know what, this is the best way to enjoy gaming. Epic Games.
It's in the game.
It's in the game.
I don't know.
I wonder where that's from.
So.
EA, it's in your wallet. All right, let's move on forward. So the next thing we're going to talk about here.
I want you to read it. Read that bullet first.
I hate you so much.
Okay, no.
Why?
Read
Why
that
do you
bullet.
make me read it?
Because I don't understand it.
Release window for see, here's the thing. I meant to put new, but I put Xbox. So it's supposed to be
okay.
The new.
What is it supposed to say?
Then it's supposed to be release window for the new Xbox.
Okay, I'm sorry. Carry on, because I didn't get it. I just thought, let me put it in there the way it is.
So we are going to have a new release window of say November. I think early November. And at the same time, they're pushing back Halo Infinite. So I'm pretty sure that's the reason why they're doing it. They're not going to have Halo for December. They're not going to have it for until maybe most likely fall of next year, but I'm guessing. And they're going to say, you know what, here's the Xbox. We're bringing it out early November and enjoy the content that you're playing right now on your Xbox One. That's how I see this whole new release date.
And how much are they charging again for the Xbox X? I forgot.
They haven't released a price.
$750, I believe.
According
knows.
to no one knows. The price range is not even out yet.
My sources say it's $750.
Who the fuck's your source, man? Juanito down the street.
That's why it's called my source. I gotta protect my source. There's journalistic integrity here.
Okay.
Second best joke of the night.
Alrighty, so let me continue there. So yeah, it's pretty. I don't know. I'm not really excited for the release of it being early. I feel like they're just trying to push over just because they made a big screw up with Halo Infinite and they want to try to save their fan base by taking it out early. So we want to talk about Fast and Furious. Again, yes. Fast and Furious has not died. I don't think it's going to ever die. I'm pretty sure we're going to have Fast and Furious in space coming up soon.
We're going to have Fast and Furious with Vin Diesel in a wheelchair with it souped up that he can go, 115, inches a second. And be like, I got this.
Fast and Furious, grumpy old men.
La familia.
Grumpy old
family first. So the game was a complete flop. The game was supposed to actually bring them back into the video game industry, in video game world, and it completely flopped. One of the most worst games for the franchise that ever came out was this called Fast and Furious Crossroads.
I don't even remember it.
Bad. No, it was just mentioned it was mentioned last year and it was released this year. Reviews are beyond. I got a 2.3, a 4, and a 4. I think it's Steam. So it's been people are criticizing the game really bad.
Is there any voice acting in it? The
graphics are not.
They don't have Mark Thompson.
Really,
no, of course. But I want to know. I want to know if anybody says "one last ride" in it. That's all.
Oh God!
all I want from this game is somebody to say "one last ride" in a gravelly voice.
But at the same time, it's been made by Bandai Namco. Bandai Namco's formula for games are not the best to say if it's not a fighting genre game. I think they could have had a better publisher publish this game, but Bandai Namco is not known for super awesome games with super amazing graphics. They're known for Naruto's and their Dragon Ball C's and all the other anime style games that they develop. So I'm not surprised with it, but at least we take what we can get, you know? And that is all up with Pocho all up in your face.
I like it. Thank you very much, Juancho. We're going to move on to Roz Presents Pixels and Politics.
All right, guys. So, one of the things I want to start, because this is fucking where the industry is going. Is terrible.
Oh man.
So this first bullet point I want to bring up is Control will only get a free next gen upgrade from the new Ultimate Edition. Now, I think I'm the only person that played Control.
What is Control? Yes.
Which is batshit. It's one of the highest rated games that came out last year. Like it won Game of the Year, like in a ton of places. It's a third person shooter
I'll play like in 2 years like I did with Witcher.
It's a third-person shooter made by Remedy, the same guys that made Max Payne and Alan Wake and, et cetera. Well, whatever.
Wow.
So the game is really good. Came out last year along with, the Season Pass. So if you bought the game with the Season Pass, the standard, price would be $60 for a game and then another $30 for a Season Pass.
Yeah.
So a $90 purchase. Microsoft and PlayStation, but mostly Microsoft, has been pushing for the smart delivery system, which is, hey, you buy a game, and when it gets upgraded for the next-gen system, you automatically get those upgrades. You don't have to pay anything else. And they mandated that for the platform. It's like nobody can sell fucking unlock keys. You own the game. They're not going to allow people to sell like a $10 or a $50 upgrade to make it look better. So what 505 Games did is they sidestepped the entire process and they said, hey, the only people that will get ray tracing, better resolution, all the new effects are the people that buy the brand new, which just came out this Tuesday, Ultimate Edition of the game, which includes the base game plus the DLC for $40. So if you paid $90 fucking dollars for this game when it came out, you now have to pay another $40 to get the visual upgrades. And again, they're doing exactly what Microsoft said to do, which is not force anybody to buy a key for an upgrade. They're just repackaging the game.
That's infuriating. I gotta
say. That's so rough.
And it's not the first company to do this, because 2K did it with, NBA, where they released the Mamba edition, which allows you to get the new graphics. And it has Kobe on the cover, so they're profiting on his corpse. But this is going to be happening moving into the future, especially now that we're in the middle of a generational shift for video games consoles. I don't know. What do you guys think about that?
That irks the crap out of me. Because I remember when they the transition between for me was for the Xbox One to the Xbox One X. When I got that upgrade, there was a button when it went from 1080p to 4K. Everything was upgraded through Microsoft. I didn't have to buy any new games or anything like that. At least that I noticed. But now that I think about it, there's very few games that I had between the two that I didn't use on the Game Pass. Now you got me concerned.
So. We'll see how this shakes out. It might just be the fact that the companies that did this are super predatory. 2K famously, I mean, they're releasing Grand Theft Auto for the fourth time. It's a game that came out on the 360 and the PlayStation 3, but is getting a new release on the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5.
With better graphics.
I mean, it is. We're just gonna have to just look at it and see where it goes and how we adjust it, because what happened with what we're seeing now is similar to what happened with the disc gaming into the digital. We had a big uproar, digital gaming, discs, and it's slowly starting to actually fit into society. Maybe this will fit in well, and after a while, I mean, we have to see what the final outcome will be. Maybe this is just
It's like he's going through a time warp.
He's in the Tartarus box, right?
It's so good.
But I think a better example is that this might be the new
norm.
No, not the new norm. Kind of how everybody jumped on the whole loot box nonsense and all their games and became a hellscape. Roz, do you think that this is gonna be like the new loot box thing, where this is gonna be thrown into everything that can be, as long as we pay for it?
Not really. So let's take a jump back, 7 years when the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4 came out, and every generational shift, you have games that come out on the old system and the new system.
Right.
And what used to happen when like the PlayStation 2 to 3 came out is they'd have a 2 version and a 3 version, or a 3 version and a 4 version. And all these companies want to recapture the ability to double dip like they used to.
Right.
Microsoft and to a lesser extent Sony had said, hey, we don't want you guys double dipping. That's not good for the consumer. And they want to be more consumer friendly. So do I see this as the new loot box? No, I see this just them reaching back for the money that they used to get, because they want that money coming in again. All right. And shit. The new loot box vibe is going to be games costing $70 instead of $60.
Oh god!
Because that's 2K said all their games are going to be $70.
Doesn't matter. Vibe's not going to play them anyways.
Listen here.
He's going to download it and say he's going to play with us.
Yeah.
Just keep it
Shit, if anything,
I've been playing, you son of a bitch.
More reason.
I've been playing, you son of a bitch. Okay.
More reason to have Game Pass, I guess, right?
Exactly. I pay for Game Pass.
Exactly.
I play it. Okay.
All right. So anyway, jump into the next topic. This one's kind of like a light flavor type thing. It's the Xbox boss appears in Animal Crossing and discusses Halo delay. So Gary Whitta, who is an old video game media writer, he used to write for PC Gamer back in the day. He wrote. He's a movie writer now. He wrote Rogue One, by the way, and a couple other things. He has a talk show where he invites people from the video game industry, personalities, to talk and do an interview while they're playing Animal Crossing. It's kind of cool. Silly. It's dorky. So he got, he got Phil Spencer, who's the CEO of the Microsoft division for Xbox, and he was just talking about, the Halo release being pushed back and the reason for it, which is, they don't want to split the release. I think it's actually has everything to do with the reaction to the the gameplay trailer, which was generally negative.
Yeah.
But also heaping praise on Nintendo, basically saying Nintendo is, amazing, perfect, has no problems, has the best first party, games. And it's really interesting to see the head of a competing platform heaping so much praise on their competition, which tells me that there might be a chance of Microsoft releasing their xCloud platform on the Switch, because I can't imagine any other reason he'd be trying to get so buddy with Nintendo.
That'd be genius.
But why?
Because that's all they want.
Hold on. Why are you surprised? But here's the thing. About maybe 6 months ago, or maybe 10 months ago, I don't remember exactly, Nintendo and Microsoft were in the talks already of trying to get their service, their Xbox service to the Switch. It was exactly. Not only that, at the same time, they were starting to release some of their Xbox exclusive games at the beginning to the Switch first. You had Cuphead. Now it's a PlayStation as well. But it was only an Xbox exclusive.
I would
now
say
it went
more,
into PlayStation. Now it went to the Switch.
Juancho, I would say more directly, Ori and the Blind Forest. That one is published and owned by Microsoft.
Exactly.
Damn.
So Microsoft and Nintendo are starting to work together for the common good of the video game industry. I mean, we're not gonna say, oh, we're gonna have to have a chance to have a few Xbox games on the Switch and they're gonna compete and they're gonna create one. No, they're still gonna have the separate entities. Yeah. But I still feel like they're gonna unite against Sony and against just to try to get gaming. Because remember when Sony and Fortnite had the whole issue with, oh, you can't transfer your account.
Sure, the cross-platform stuff.
You have to start a new one. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Nintendo and Microsoft teamed up right away, and now Sony ended up, saying, you know what, fine, we'll join too.
Yeah, Sony's never going to do that.
I'm excited for it. It's good to see.
That
It's
makes
good
me
to see
worried. That gives me hope.
It's a breath of fresh air.
Because Microsoft doesn't
at the end of
care
the day,
if they sell consoles right now.
Really? Whoa.
Microsoft's current goal is to sell you Game Pass subscriptions. That's their money. Remember, Microsoft as a company is a services company. They make 90% of their money from Office, Windows, and Azure server cloud hosting. It's all about service. So if they can make people jump onto that, that's why they have xCloud. That's why it's on your phone. That's why they lost their shit when Apple didn't approve it, because it's like, holy crap, that's 1 billion people we cannot sell our platform to.
yeah. And I mean, actually, try to actually play it. Unfortunately, I didn't sign up enough. In our area, still you can do the sharing with the system, but it does look promising, and it does look like it's going to be something to look forward to with Microsoft xCloud.
Thank you, Mr. Roboto.
I'm so sorry, I couldn't do it, but it's so great. Every time he does it, I just literally just picture him just like, and then be the thing that way, and it's just so like amazing. And I love Juancho. I really do, bro. I couldn't help it.
It's the excitement to have you back. Everybody's excited.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's because of the mic so far away. Look at Darkfire. He's trying to talk, but he can barely talk.
He's not talking.
I'm looking at my teeth because
He's
my
looking at his
dentist
teeth.
on Wednesday.
Okay. So next topic. So the Microsoft's new Xbox Series S as in savory console confirmed and leaked in controller packaging. So somebody saw that on the controller it lists, works with Series X and Series S. So I don't know if you guys know what the Series S is, but it's supposed to be their smaller profile, not as powerful Xbox, basically marketed to people that want to use it for xCloud and people that want to use it on 1080p TVs.
So marketed for me. Marketed to me. Gotcha.
So it's really interesting to see it, not officially, but like leaked so certainly. It's supposed to have the same CPU as the base console, but a much weaker GPU.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's really. I'm not really sure how I feel about them splitting the SKUs so early in the generation of the system, selling two very similarly named consoles at the same time.
PlayStation is doing it though.
Well, yeah, they're selling one with a Blu-ray drive and one without a Blu-ray drive, but the consoles are the same power.
Okay.
Question?
Yeah.
Is the S, because I haven't looked at the specs, and sorry, but is the S going to be still better than the X that's out right now?
Yes.
So either way, you're getting an upgrade.
Either way, you're getting an upgrade. I would guess, like, get it, put it in your guest room.
It's going in my bedroom. Okay.
You're telling this is the guy that literally the things I sacrificed to get that Xbox One X. The Scorpion edition. I still love that thing. I'm not trading it in. Suckers are going to be with me forever.
Yeah, no, I will respect it.
I can't. But I mean, all right. So that's something else to consider. Then I wasn't sure about that, but maybe I'll consider that.
Yeah, it might be a good jump. And the last thing I'll talk about. This is very personal to me. So if nobody really gives two shits, just tell me and I'll drop it. But this is the headline. Sam Fisher's Rainbow Six Siege reveal is testing the patience of Splinter Cell fans. Has anybody else here ever played a Splinter Cell game?
Yes, I love Splinter Cell.
I play all the Tom Clancy games.
Both games.
So,
I even got all the way to when he was an old man trying to figure life out.
I'm all about Tom Clancy.
Do you guys remember the last Splinter Cell game that we got?
You mean forever ago?
Blacklist.
Arcade game.
It was Blacklist, which came out in 2013. Like, it has been 7 years since we've had a Splinter Cell game, but Ubisoft continues to put Sam Fisher in their existing games. Like, he was in Wildlands 2 years ago, and now he's going to be in Rainbow Six. And people are like, why do you keep doing? Just give us a freaking Splinter Cell game. It'll work. And Ubisoft,
I agree.
The going theory is that it doesn't work with what Ubisoft makes now. Ubisoft makes open world games with giant maps and a bunch of question marks on it, and that wouldn't work with a Splinter Cell game. That's true. I don't know, man. I'm like enraged and disappointed at the same time because it's like I think Splinter Cell is one of the best, if not the best, stealth, infiltration game.
I agree.
Period. I love Metal Gear Solid. I think Splinter Cell does stealth way better than Metal Gear.
They do.
That's a
shadow mechanics. There's shadow mechanics more.
Yep, shadow mechanic.
Top of the line during the time on the Xbox.
Yes.
I want to make it very clear. I'm not editing out any of this part because it will not inform the laughter that comes out afterwards. So those of you who are saying, "Well, you said this episode," I'm keeping it because it's for comical.
But their shadow mechanics were amazing. Shut up and listen to me.
Great. Shut up, I love it. Wait, did I just hear the?
Yeah, you did.
Oh, it was that. Where did that come from?
Oh man,
that was beautifully done.
All right, well, thank you so much, Roz. We're going to move on.
Yeah, no problem.
Darflex, insert segment name here. Mortal Kombat 2021 reboot cast characters. I don't know. Go for it.
Hey. Okay, cool. So, have any of you guys
exposed, sir? What is what is that?
It's just the lighting and this gaming computer has a shitty camera. But,
it's not made for camming.
Carry on. Okay, it's not made for camming. Gotcha.
I'm not gonna use it on my OnlyFans. So, have any of you been keeping up with whatever Mortal Kombat is gonna come out with their reboot?
Yes, they've been talking about it forever.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Well, I mean, there was the Machinima one, and then now there's this one, right?
Right. Well, yeah.
I think there was a cartoon in between, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't know.
Pretty sure there was.
The Machinima one was tight. I like it.
Fantastic.
It was really good.
I love the Machinima one. I mean, I think Michael Jai White is an outstanding Jax.
He's a national treasure, man.
Oh, 7 black belts. But I digress. 7 black belts.
No big deal.
And he did that cap thing that everyone did on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
The what?
Okay.
The cap off the water bottle thing?
He was Spawn.
Very impressive.
Okay. So what they did is they released some of the cast for Mortal Kombat, which a lot of them I actually do not know who they are.
Which is good.
That way. I honestly
Exactly.
Because at one point there was talks of having Ronda Rousey be Sonya Blade, which I was like, hell to the fuck no. She can't act. She's talentless unless she's WWE, right?
Oh man, we saw how bad she is as an actress in Mortal Kombat. No, in Mortal Kombat, where she played Sonya Blade, and she was horrible.
And where? Which one? This is the game
the newest one.
The newest game?
Yeah, the newest game. She was in the game.
She's the voice actress of Sonya Blade. That's awful.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
She was horrible in the.
Her delivery was abysmal.
Horrible and fucking everything. Whatever. So I'm glad that, for the most part, it's unknown characters except for Cheng Soon, which is Chin Han, which he's been.
Damn right.
If you're into, like. Well, actually, you know what? This is geek culture. If you're into the Dark Knight, he's fucking in the Dark Knight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man.
As who?
Actually, I did actually
doing a drug deal with fucking
the Joker.
Lucius Fox.
He was in Ghost in the Shell too. He played Togusa.
I have not seen that.
I'm sorry, Gobanzo. Were you saying something, sir?
Also, I'm actually, when I found out who was going to play the Scorpion, actually,
I was just getting
super excited. Sorry, I'm not taking your thunder. Please continue.
No.
Jean-Claude Van Damme?
No.
Yeah, Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yeah, actually, right on the nail. Anybody here watch Westworld?
Absolutely.
Is it Hironuki that's going to play him?
Hiroyuki Sanada. Which, man, and honestly, he has the perfect look for it because his face, he has that. I can't find a term for it, but whatever it is, it would be the equivalent to resting bitch face, but it's not a resting bitch face. Honestly, his face is perfect. It's perfect for this role, man. I love it so much. Then we have Raiden, which another thing I would like to say, it's so refreshing not seeing all these American actors play these Asian characters.
So no whitewashing? Okay.
Yeah, they're not.
Well, no, it's just not that. It's like Raiden. Like Scorpion. Okay, whatever. So
is Raiden a white guy? In the games, he's always been a white guy. No,
he's a god.
Well, yeah,
does,
but
his-
he's personified as a white guy, though.
No,
Yeah,
that
his
changed
body
when the
model's
original.
a white guy.
Yeah.
yeah,
in the
but his
original.
face isn't really too white. It's more like
Not white.
Listen,
Okay.
it should be friggin' Asian people is what we're trying to
Yeah,
say.
like
No, I understand.
I love what the most recent game did with Katana.
What they make her?
She's pretty hot too. Well, an Asian chick, but like
Send me pictures. Send me a
Of course.
sketch.
Go on YouTube. Okay.
No,
Let's see.
you got the good stuff. You have access
So-
to the dark web.
Melina's gonna be an interesting character too because this chick is slamming,
Garbanzo shook their head at the same time.
but this chick is just pretty slamming. I also do not know who she is, but her name is Sissy Stringer. Pretty hot. I'm pretty interested because she has a very, very pretty face and very unique jawline and bone structure. I wonder how they're gonna do that Tarkatan thing on her face.
They're
So I'm
gonna
pretty
cut
excited
her
for
face
that.
open in reality. So.
Oh no. I guess we know how she got those scars.
Movie magic.
Method acting.
Yep. Then we got Ludi Lin as Liu Kang. I'm not too sure who he is either, but actually he's.
He was. Wait, hold on. Which one? As Liu Kang?
It says here he was in a Power Rangers film. I don't remember which one he was. Was he Zach?
Yes, he was.
Okay.
Yeah, he really was. He was a Black Ranger. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the black. Yeah, okay. In the movie.
Mm-hmm. In the new movie, yeah.
Yes. And Sub-Zero is being played by Joe Taslim, which I think he's pretty cool. If you're into martial arts like I am, like this guy is like a much better Scott Atkins.
But can he act?
I don't know, but let's see. He says here he was in The Raid, Fast and Furious 6, The Night Comes for Us. So I don't know, but he's probably gonna be wearing a mask. So we'll see.
Did we already talk about who's playing Jax?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
That's
That's
the
the
guy.
one.
That's the guy who played. So he was in Supergirl. He played. Jimmy Olsen.
Yep.
I mean, a
Jimmy
different,
Olsen.
very different version. Yeah, very different version of Jimmy Olsen. But definitely, he's no longer on the show anymore. But yeah, I can see that. He's got a.
Mhm.
Yeah. I can see that. I see it.
Yeah,
I'm
and
looking
then
forward to it, man.
That's who you.
For,
I love that guy.
For Kano, they actually got an Australian guy, which is pretty.
I
cool
love
too.
that guy too.
You do? I've actually.
No,
never...
for Raiden. I just got to the article. I'm looking at it
Oh,
now.
really?
Oh Jesus.
I'm
Here's
sorry.
Sonya Blade's character,
Believe you can get it.
Jessica McNamee. I've also never heard of her, but I think she, just looking at her face, she looks like a good Sonya.
She looks familiar.
I don't know, but again, I'm just liking the fact that I'm not recognizing most of these characters, which is nice for me. Then there's an undisclosed role by Louis Tan, which you've probably seen him in Wu Assassins, which is a pretty good show.
He's gonna be.
He's in Deadpool
He's the
too,
emperor.
so.
He's the emperor.
Yeah.
He plays
No.
the
Yes.
that invisible dude, not invisible dude. Part of the fucking X-Force.
Oh,
the
dude,
Asian
he
dude.
plays
the guy from space, the alien.
Shatterstar.
Yeah, him.
Oh, the purple
Shatterstar.
the purple goo guy.
Yeah, Shatterstar. Oh, that's awesome. All right, that's all right. Cool stuff. Who do you think is gonna be though? I don't think is gonna be the Emperor though.
He's the emperor. He's gonna be
Okay.
just a non-bald, very.
I think
more,
he's too small.
No, the
The
guy that
Emperor?
throws the hat.
No, the guy that had his neck.
No,
being played
Kung
by-
Lao's already somebody else.
Yeah.
Oh.
It is. No, he's not. Where?
Oh yeah, he
He
is.
is. He's
There
definitely
we-
on the list.
I know.
Actually, the next one on the list.
I know he's gonna. Play.
Oh yeah, that's a good. That's a good.
He's gonna be Reptile.
Reptile.
Yeah,
Oh.
this is Mortal Kombat 1 reboot, and Reptile was a secret character. So there you go. Boom. Answer.
Wasn't Smoke one of them?
He's gonna be the emperor.
Smoke was in the arcade, not the console version. So, yes, you
I was
are
gonna say-
correct, though.
No,
That's his
Smoke, I thought Smoke appeared in 2. He was in 1.
Oh wait, was one Noob Saibot?
Yeah, there it is. Noobs,
No,
Noob Sabiot.
No, I
whatever
thought
it
two
was.
was Noob Saibot.
No, Reptile
Which is
was a
Boone-
secret character in 1, but all these others came afterwards, from what I understand.
They were all just Sub-Zero.
Well, anyway, like I said, he's gonna be Reptile.
He's gonna be the emperor. I called it.
Who?
Let's see who wins between Roz and Vibe. Roz wins. Fuck.
Finish him.
Roz has the intuition of the gods, so I mean, look, what can I say?
Yep.
But
I can't even argue with that. And his advice is always sound.
That's pretty much it for the cast. I mean, I'm sure there's going to be more because we're missing some characters from here. But it's looking good in my opinion. I mean, we're not going to get this. Even though when I saw the first 2 Mortal Kombat movies, I was a child, so to me they were amazing.
The first one was amazing. The second one broke my heart.
Yeah, but you're already in college. I was like,
shut the fuck up, school. You.
So to me, it was like
yes,
something super new. Exactly. Okay, so I'm glad that we're getting something kind of solid from one of these.
That was beautiful.
All right, but yeah,
I think I was in junior high school. Okay, I was in junior high school when the first one came out. I think I'm not sure.
Yeah, the first one had an amazing song.
You were a senior.
No, it was good. It was good. I mean, I thought it was great. I still watched it. All right, we're moving on. We're moving on to Vibes Cure for Your Common Day. It's a couple of announcements, not really discussing much of it. Disney has no Fox left to give, and it renames the TV studio to 20th Television, which I find to be odd, so odd. Because one, we're in the 21st century, and B, 20th Television it doesn't roll off the tongue. I don't know. It's just me.
You made the 20th. They're calling it 20th Century Studios.
No, just 20th Television.
20th Studio.
Maybe it's legitimately their 20th acquisition. Maybe that's no. I'm being serious because I don't get it. And I wondered why, but now I understand that Fox did keep some of their divisions, and that's why they want to differentiate between the Disney acquisitions and what Fox still actually does have. So, but my God, 20th Television is absolutely terrible. And they're turning Fox 21 Television Studios, just renaming it Touchstone Television, which is better than 20th.
Actually, I'm okay with that.
Or 20th Studios. So
Touchstone is already a known element.
Exactly. So, moving off there. Moving on to the next topic.
Oh my God! See, it's small comments that I know I shouldn't make, especially in Hollywood.
What? Family podcast. Moving on. Disney's Star Wars spin-off series Rogue One sets new co-star with Diego Luna. Adria Arjona is set to star opposite Diego Luna in Star Wars.
Arjona
is set to star. Shut up. Is set to star opposite Diego Luna in Disney Plus's Star Wars series based upon Cassian Andor character Luna played in 2016 spin-off film Rogue One. So just throwing that out there. She can get it. She's really attractive. Was she in Pacific Rim?
Yeah.
Yes, that's what she was. She was a non-character in Pacific Rim, but she was in that movie. And so there we go. A sad day for me when I found out, this is only for you guys here in South Florida who only care, that Santa's Enchanted Forest has been canceled this year. Now,
yes.
What?
Yes.
Fuck that place, man.
Oh, man, that place was dog shit.
You all can kiss my ass.
It was ghetto.
That was a
horrible.
That was a staple and a family tradition. No, it wasn't.
Oh,
we're gonna have a 75% decrease in tetanus shots and stabbings in Tamiami Park because of this.
I went there for over 10 years in a row. Every year, we're getting the season pass, going once a week, every week till the place closed. And the last week, every single day with my children. I've never been stabbed, shot, robbed, and my kids have never been kidnapped. We've enjoyed it. It has been a staple of my family. And
I thought you worked there.
It kills me. Exactly. And people, even to the point where I was in, for a couple of years, whoever runs Santa's Enchanted Forest Instagram waited for us to get back because he loved it. They kept on resharing our posts because my hashtag was once a week, every week until this place closes. That was always my hashtag. I love that place. It is canceled. And for those of you guys who know, there was a dispute over renewing the contract or the leasing of the area. Mm-hmm. And that was actually going down. Do I believe it's ever coming back? Unfortunately, no. I think it's killed.
Thank God.
That is
I know, man. That's like
they were waiting.
They
wanted to kill it though. They wanted to kill it though.
They didn't want to kill it. No. They wanted to. They didn't want to renew the lease. That's what it was. But I'm pretty sure that with this being canceled, that the lease that there's no talks renewing. It's over and done with. Then, but I will still make my Santa's Enchanted Forest documentary to save them because that is what I will do.
Why don't
this place.
I can see it now.
What?
Once a week for the rest of the time, you're going to go to where the Santa's Enchanted Forest is supposed to be, standing outside and just take sad pictures.
Pretty much. And I'll do a time-lapse video. And I have over 10 years of home movies at Santa's Enchanted Forest. You can watch my kids grow in these home movies with Santa's Enchanted Forest.
All joking aside, that is awesome, and that is a memory, and I definitely understand tradition.
It hurts.
And I am sorry to hear that on your behalf.
It hurts.
For me,
Okay.
I'm okay.
That was
Last
my
time when
spot.
I got
Not
violent
all
diarrhea from the
traditions are
fried
great.
Oreos.
Honestly, it's
No, that
really
tradition
easy
was
to
that
hear
was a
Cuban
great
say
tradition.
it's okay.
You know, like not all traditioners are what
okay.
you know. What the Aztecs used to have a tradition where they would cut someone's head off and toss it down a pyramid.
You cannot
So I mean,
compare cutting off
It's
heads
true.
to me going to Santa's forest with my offspring.
no, I'm sure. I mean, I'm just saying that Santa's Enchanted
a-
Forest
it was
was
good
like
to
the
me.
embodiment
No,
of like a hellscape in South Florida. Like the dregs
How
of
did I bring this
society would
I did this to
accumulate
myself.
and
It wasn't always
coalesce
like this,
there.
though.
this was supposed to be just a,
You know,
a-
it was
a footnote in this episode. Why
like-
did I do this to myself?
Hey,
Why did I do
but
this to myself?
how about this? How about this? Listen.
Oh no! Flex, you're a piece of shit. Because let me tell you right now. I posted it on Facebook, and it's everybody else sad face. This motherfucker put care, okay, on my post. I saw that, and I clenched my phone so hard. Okay, so you Flex and Kiss, you're the only one sad face, and all I see is from Dark Flex.
Mhm.
Fuck you.
Listen.
I apologize.
How about this? Let's be responsible adults,
Uh-huh.
and we can social distance. If you really want to have that so bad, let's just put lights up in your house,
Mhm.
put some music on, let's get some pine trees. I'll get us some acid, and then we'll go on a Hanson chapter 4.
Wait. But which one of us is gonna vomit on the floor?
Nobody
Who
vomits
vomits from acid?
What are you talking
Oh,
about?
because it's not in the forest.
Yeah,
because
somebody
true.
has to vomit on the floor.
Wait,
Somebody
hold
has to
on,
take a
because
shit in the
you have to
bathroom on the
fast.
floor.
Get a
Hold
chair
on.
and
And
spin it really fast.
hold on, and this never happens at the Miami Youth Fair. This doesn't happen at Disney World. This doesn't
I
happen.
don't go to any of that
These
shit.
things
I don't go
happen.
to any of that.
Those are horrible
I don't
places,
go to any
man.
of that. Listen, if you want, we can get a fat Puerto Rican lady to yell at us the whole time.
Nobody
Whoa,
comes.
whoa,
None
whoa,
of that
whoa.
ever happens. None of that ever happens.
Why does she have to be Puerto Rican?
Okay.
Come on, Manny. Come on.
No, because
Does anybody know any carnies that like do like a lot of meth
there
that can
is
come
no
out and hang
carnies
out?
there. They had great stories there.
All
They
of
had
them?
Great shows. I mean, they had Oreo tempura.
They
there.
had carnies.
They
Actually,
had
no.
carnies. What are you talking about?
Hialeah carnies. I said it.
Why Peter Parker is being targeted by children
Que bola.
ever again? This article comes from Newsweek.com. The Mandalorian star has been called racist and a bootlicker, and it's seemingly began with her. She posted the famous black and white photo showing a collective Nazi salute, and one man isn't saluting. Basically saying, don't follow everybody, go your own way. Basically, so she's being targeted. Do you guys know anything about this? About what's going on with her when it comes to this? I think it's her way of saying with the SJWs, don't jump on the bandwagon for bandwagon's sake. Think for yourself, and if you really are outraged, then you really are outraged, but don't just jump on it because that's the hot thing going on right now. And I appreciate that sentiment and the photos she posted. Anybody want to comment?
It's the wrong time to say that shit, man.
It's the wrong time to say think for yourself, Roz?
No, it was the wrong time to say like what she said specifically and how she said it. I mean, like, what was it? In my experience, screaming at somebody that they are racist when they are indeed not racist, and any post and or research you do will show you those exact facts. Then I'm sorry, those people are not educators. They are cowards and bullies. Basically,
I see nothing wrong.
She's not the right person to be saying, hey, maybe it's not that big of a deal. Chill, lady.
But then right? who is the right person to sit up and say, listen, maybe
probably not a rich white lady.
Well,
okay.
When it comes down to it, this whole thing started where because someone, basically that was a response in referencing to her post of the picture saying that love conquers all. That individual did not salute. Was he goes everyone's like, why are you posting pictures of Nazis? I'm like, I'm sorry, did they not exist? Or is this like they're showing that even those who are surrounded by evil, occasionally it only takes one person to start. Right. And if to be that person, I guess she's for me, it sounded like she was reaching out to a lot of these alt-right, wahoos who are basically saying like, listen, if you don't agree with this, it's okay to say you don't agree with it. That's what she was doing.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, but the blowback to her was like, nobody needs to say that. Everybody knows that, hey, if you're not a racist, don't be a racist. The whole point of this argument is, hey, racism is bad, and if you're not a racist, don't associate with racists, right? Like, you don't need to mollify these racists. I'm not crazy there. You know, like why try to entreat with them? Hey, look, if that guy hates black people, if that guy hates Puerto Ricans, understandably so, but you know, just say, hey, you know, I'm not going to associate with racists.
Okay.
You know, you don't need to post a picture of a bunch of Nazis and one guy like not raising his hand. It's like, yeah, we get it. That guy happened to be hanging out with a fuck ton of Nazis and didn't raise his hand, but you know, shit, he was still hanging out with a fuck ton of Nazis.
And this is why these discussions matter.
You know?
Sure. All right, we're going to move on to question of the day. Should game stories return to a simpler black and white morality? Mr. Roz, you brought us up last week.
So yeah, I posed this last week, and you know, hopefully some of you guys give it some thought. But I'll reiterate: like, should games go back to a black and white morality? Like, should, you know, the evil just be evil? Should there be no gray? Should there never be a situation where the villains can come to you and say, "Hey, we're not so different, you and I"? You know, does that make games better? Or does that make games worse?
Well, do we mean the narrative structure of the games or the gameplay themselves?
The actual villains you're fighting. Like, there's a difference between, again, bringing Nazis back to the conversation, having Nazis be the villain versus having, you know, a corporation that happens to be a little on the gray side be the villain and no specific evil deed being done. Nobody's eating children,
right?
You know.
Right, but yeah, okay. Well, I mean, my answer would be no black. I like a more complex, you know, even dare I say nuanced evil, because it just makes for a better story. I like story. I like that to drive it. So okay, he's bad for bad sake. All right, it's kind of like why I don't watch scary movies. I don't like scary movies to be scared for scare's sake. If there's a good story behind it, sure, I'm all about it. So no, I don't think they should go into black and white. I mean, maybe for simpler games or younger games, but I think a more nuanced, a more complex, and more complicated. Even you know what my favorite bad guys are? The ones that were good and something justifiable turned them evil.
Fall from grace.
Fall from grace. Yes, those stories, they jack me up. I love the fall from grace stories because you know they have a reason, whether you agree with it or not. You have a reason you can identify with why they fell so hard. And yeah, you want to see them fail, but you're like, you know, I see where you're coming from, you know, and it challenges your own morality. So no, I like it. I like the morally gray. Anybody else?
I'm going to piggyback on what you said. Is actually exactly the way that I was thinking. Is I think for younger gamers, I think that it's very important to do the black and white. And the reason why you mentioned maybe for younger than black and bring it back for black and white. Don't do that to me. I finally pay attention to when you speak, and then you're gonna try shit on me.
You know, kiss my ass. You finally pay attention. Okay? I'm one of the hosts of this goddamn podcast. Okay. All right.
It's for younger viewers. I think it's imperative to do the black and white, only because it helps solidify a proper moral compass. Even though it should be being taught at home, but it also helps solidify what they should be taught at home, or maybe correct what's being taught at home in referencing to moral compass. Like evil is evil, good is good, and good should triumph over evil. Now, as they get older into the older games, and the mind starts to work a little differently, and then they start understanding nuances, then start introducing those kind of games into the, you know, keeping to the mature to teenage to mature range. You know what I'm saying? It's like explaining Killmonger to a 5-year-old is not so easy, because you want to tell, hey, you know what, Killmonger was kind of right. At the end, they did exactly what Killmonger did, but it's just the way that he did it was wrong.
Right. His execution was off.
You know, and so the kid and for a younger child who doesn't understand, you know, the whole process, though, yeah, they may understand what you're saying and kind of nod his head, but they may misinterpret it, and that's where they can end up getting in trouble and reversing. But it's maybe, so I just did it wrong, but the idea was still the same. And okay, no, let's step back and try again. It's just going to end up, you know, I'm not saying that it's we should take it out completely, but I just think that keep it age appropriate.
I like it. Man, you have said almost nothing this entire podcast. You're speaking now.
Did you guys read my email out loud?
I didn't get to, because you were supposed to come on. I was going to have you read it to us. If you want to do that right now, if it's appropriate.
I'm not going to read the whole thing.
Okay.
I'm just going to.
Thank you.
I'm just going to read the part about the question.
Oh, fantastic!
So to reiterate what Vibe said and what Garbanzo said, as long as the story is like a good telling story, It doesn't bother me at all. Keep it age appropriate. Keep it focused on who needs to be focused on, because I don't need to necessarily like or dislike the villain to kill the villain.
Right.
That's it for me. I mean, I not really much else to say about that. I don't believe in the black and white anymore, because even though the world today is a lot more complex and it doesn't need to be fed to everybody, and we don't need to revisit it on a daily basis with our own video games when we have to deal with it in real life.
Right.
I just think that it just needs to be directed accordingly. That's it.
I like it. We got Darflex and Juancho left. Who's gonna go next?
I actually agree with all of you, and even more so with Man's point. I mean, honestly, it's something I did most of my adult life. Yeah, you don't really need to dislike the person you're killing. You just do it sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So, and honestly, when it comes to video games, I think it's the same way too. But it also depends on the game and the purpose of the game, right? Like if I'm playing like, something like
Overlord.
Oh no.
Jesus.
In Overlord, I disliked all of them.
Overlord,
I
damn.
was
But no.
so evil in that game. Sorry.
Yeah.
Total pair.
So the thing is, he was a kid at first. At least in the second one, he was a kid. So you kind of
Renegade for life.
But yeah, it depends on the game. It definitely depends on the story. It depends on like what kind of story it is. If it's a dynamic, complex story, for sure, definitely. But I think it's good to have both, because sometimes I like to play something like Metal Slug and I just shoot a bunch of bad dudes, and then I like to play something like, I don't know, Being Human. Let's be human.
Near Automata, yes.
I haven't played Near Automata yet.
Hmm.
But it just depends. Like I like both options. I like to hate, kill the bad guy because we say he's bad, or the whole very story-driven, complex video game. I enjoy them all. I mean, they're like books to me that you can kind of take direction.
Okay.
All right, and me, I'm right down in the middle. I enjoy my black and white games. I enjoy the who the bad guy is. I'll give you an example. There's the I guess I forgot the name of the game. There's a Nazi game that you kill them, and let's forget the name of it.
Sniper?
It's a Bloodborne? No, it's
Wait.
It's a big shooter.
Blood
What's
Rain.
the name of that shooter?
Wolfenstein?
Blood Rain.
Yeah,
Blood Rain with
I
the
love
swords.
Wolfenstein.
You guys see the movie? You see the
Wolfenstein.
chick's tits? It's pretty cool.
I love Doom. I love all of it. I love
It
having
was.
but
having the
other
black and white. But at the same time, I love having the complex games, and with a very rich story that you end up deciding what side you want to go on.
And a great example of that one you just mentioned is actually like Blood Rain, but also like for the other side that you mentioned is also Fable.
Fable. I was just thinking about Fable. Fable's a great example. Very complex story. You want it to be bad, you can be bad and kick everybody behind all over the place. If you want them to be good, then you be good.
But there was a physical representation. That's what I loved about it. Like,
Yeah.
if you went bad, everyone knew, and that was it actually showed consequences for your actions.
For eating all those little baby chickens.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say games like those they were good for that.
All right.
And
Well,
I feel that you shouldn't go black and white. Keep it mixed.
Yeah, I actually agree with most of you guys. I think moral ambiguity in video games is the way to go. I think it tells a more mature story, and it makes it a lot more difficult for the player to just, be dismissive about who they're fighting or going against. I think it's really good to make the player have some kind of internal conflict, to feel, almost betrayed by what they're doing themselves, having to, Darth Flex, you just recently played The Last of Us. So you played probably the ultimate example of a game that is all morally gray and all ambiguity.
Very much so, especially the ending.
So I don't know. I think that tells for a more mature story. On the other hand, like Juancho said, black and white is great, because if we didn't have black and white, we wouldn't have the Wolfensteins. We wouldn't have Star Wars games, which are simply, hey, that is the objective bad guy.
right.
Yep.
Doesn't matter what he says or does. They're just bad dudes.
Bad dude.
I like it. I love it. Open. So real quick for the very, very last one, we've got open mic. Like psychologist says, calling someone a geek should be a hate crime. So I didn't want to skip this because it's hilarious in my opinion. We got this covered. .com. Where is it? A professor of psychology geek and nerd should be considered hate crimes when used negatively. So in the tweet, Dr. Sanja Falk thinks decisive and humiliating anti-IQ insults can be negative effects that last a lifetime. While at Bobby Siegel says that the move would trivialize actual hate crimes based on disability, race, and gender. Discuss, gentlemen.
Actually, if you guys don't mind me jumping on this real quick, only because my food's here and I do have to go.
Okay. Not before we take another picture.
That's fine. I forgot the question when you said the picture thing.
Hate crimes. Does
geek.
Yeah? Geek
we can say that. You can't. That's what I'm trying to know. I'm just kidding.
Exactly.
I don't see a reason why. It's actually become it's something that, at least for me, it's become geek culture, nerd culture. I've earned that title, and I wear it proudly. Because I have no issue.
Now it's become mainstream. Yes.
So it's not. It was used as a derogatory term back then.
Right.
But over the decades, it's become something where you earn and you're happy with.
Just like the N-word, yes.
What?
I think it's more like redneck.
Are you saying neurotic?
All the gangster rappers use it now. It is now acceptable. No, whatever. Moving on. Next one.
Oh wait, picture first.
Photo.
Oh, okay. Yes. Sorry. Okay.
Use my.
This is why. No, get in the frame.
First of all, this was my article, asshole.
This was your article. Was it?
Yes, you motherfucker. You don't pay attention to anything I sent to you.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought I saw this. I found this myself. I thought
Photo.
No, not. Who wants to get in the frame? Thank you. All right, good. Garbanzo, thank you so much. Okay.
Be well. I'm gonna go eat. I'm starving.
Did you want to tell anybody where to find you on anything?
Oh, I'm so sorry. Thank you for reminding me all that stuff. You can find me on Instagram on BeanTKE278, on Facebook on Garbanzo's Corner. I've been working on a couple things that I'll be posting a bit more coming up very, very soon. And on Twitter, I don't even bother using it. But if you want to go check out some of my older posts, feel free. It's on BeanTKE278, just like Instagram.
All right.
Be well, be safe, and keep your masks on when you're out in public.
What? I can't hear you. Next one.
Okay. So.
Oh, that was quick.
So the reason I sent this article is I thought it was pretty interesting. Like, okay.
Did you really send this article?
Yes, this was the last thing I sent you.
I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to take it.
It's all right. It's okay. Because I did say that we should.
He said, yeah, I did.
But so I thought this was interesting because this is coming from a doctor, not an MD, but a doctor, right? All right. So that geek should be seen as offensive. So here's the thing with that. I think most words should only be offensive if most.
If you give them the power to offend.
No, well, not just that. Like like he was saying the N-word. I still wouldn't say that, even though my friends say it all without any animosity. But
right.
So if somebody's trying to offend you with words, right? Let's just say common words. Like, to me, geek is a pretty common word. You're gonna know they're trying to offend you. But if someone like us are calling you the geeks, we're gonna know that we mean it in good spirit. For example, if any of you guys call me a dumb crayon eater because I'm a Marine, I'm gonna laugh because like that's kind of something that we owned, right? And also me. But if like someone calls me a fucking crayon eater, I don't know that guy. Like, I know he's trying to insult me. Okay. Same thing with like, look at the word redneck. Redneck was created to be insulting, but they kind of adopted it as their own thing. I think maybe when I was growing up, geek, nerd, dweeb, whatever, that was kind of used as insult. It's been kind of adopted as like I don't know, I guess rite of passage, or just like, a term of endearment, whatever you want to call it. So if I were to call any of you guys a geek, it's not coming from any malintent. But if someone comes in like called you guys you fucking geek, you're gonna know that he's insulting. So I don't think that the simple word geek itself should be, designated as a derogatory term. Because come on, man, like, one, it's just a word. Two, again, if somebody's trying to insult you, you're gonna know. And also, I would hope that their vocabulary is much better than they would use a better word than geek to insult you. I mean, if you're gonna be hurtful, be fucking hurtful.
Well,
Don't be a pussy.
if you're gonna go in there, go in there.
Yeah, if you're gonna get in there all nice and deep, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't just fucking, hey, geek. No. So I don't know. To me, this kind of seemed clickbaity, which is why I clicked it. I'm like, man, this is you put the words "a doctor said" or "a doctor claimed." I'm like, all right. So I feel bad for her because right off the bat, your fucking credibility is gone, lady. Fuck out of here. Okay. And it's not even a real science. Let's be honest. But but it's like
that was my major in my first college stat. So to watch it now.
What?
She's coming from the side of
that's the most common major for anybody that doesn't have a major. That doesn't know what they want to do.
You some bitch. What is it called? Liberal arts or something like that. That's okay. Kiss my ass.
Oh, liberal arts is if you really hate yourself.
I actually did want to study psychology.
But yeah, so I don't know. The reason why I shared this article is because I wanted to hear your guys' opinion because I just thought it was silly. Come on, man, geek.
I mean, she's coming from the side that everybody should be
Offended?
I guess basically what it is, and I don't feel that if we're getting to the point where everything's getting offensive to everybody, geek, dweeb, whatever noob. I mean, it's that's what the point is getting. What I'm trying to say is just that I was called very, very horrible names growing up, and at this point now I embrace them because it is what it is. I'm not gonna take it personally, and I don't think being called a nerd or a geek or a dweeb or whatever it is should be a hate crime. Now, if you want to try to make money from it, he offended me because he called me a nerd. Come on, bro. There's worse words that they can be calling you, and that's for me. I think it's a joke. That's just my opinion on that.
Good. Yeah, that's kind of why I wanted to discuss
it. It is the purest example of a bullshit stretch I think I've seen in a long time, because there was never a time where being a geek automatically meant, social oppression to the point where it was institutionalized.
I have to see it.
Right. Being a nerd, being a geek, yeah, you got made fun of and whatnot, but there was never a situation where like, hey, you nerd, you're not allowed to do this or go here or get a loan to buy a house or, drink out of the same water fountain as me. It's a stretch.
You're absolutely right.
I think she's absolutely looking to get a name for herself. I mean, she's the director of a program at East London University, so she is already a person of note, but she's missing the entire point of what it is to, make a word a hate word.
100%.
There's no hate that is as oppressive when it comes to geek. Like nothing that doesn't hurt anybody, especially now. In the 80s, yeah, maybe you'd have an argument to say, hey man, calling that guy a geek, that's really hurtful, and it messes them up on the social structure, this or that. But even then, it's not a hate crime. It's not.
What do you mean there was no pain? There was the kick me signs.
No. I'm saying it wasn't
joking.
like
I'm joking.
there wasn't this, the social stigma that followed you for the rest of your life.
Right.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Roz, going to your comment there, you said she's the person of note and trying to make a name for herself. Don't you think someone that smart should know that she's doing the opposite? Because people were probably laughing at her.
No. Well, she's on the news.
They're not.
Yeah, exactly.
She's in the news. She's got speaking engagements now.
Exactly.
Right,
She's got 15 minutes of fame. We're covering her. We're the premier podcast in geek culture right now. So I mean,
absolutely.
Listen, man, most people that get PhDs don't make a lot of money with that PhD. A PhD does not guarantee you
not at all
financial security whatsoever.
Right.
Working at a university as a director of a program or even a supervisor of a program does not guarantee you money. She, especially public universities. So yeah, this is her trying to make a name for herself.
Yep.
She's got dozens of speaking engagements now, so she's going to be making money. And you know what? I guess good on her.
I look forward to
this isn't really going to negatively impact anybody. So.
I look forward to her TED talk. We should do a
TEDx.
A TEDx. Sorry, TEDx talk. We should do a shut up. I love it all that when it comes out. All right. So that's sorry, Rob. I'm mad. You don't say much. I completely forgot.
So no, my very simplistic explanation on this is I think she went to prom back in high school and was stood up by somebody who was like, "You're a geek. I can't do this," and she held on to this until now during these times, and was like, oh, let me be part of that oppressive culture and put this out here to continue with my 15 minutes of fame.
Take that, Tyrone. Yeah, I get it. I get it. No, you know what? As I'm making fun of it, but that makes sense. Maybe it's something that she repressed and that's kind of came back up, or something she's waiting for the day to get her revenge. Social
revenge.
You know, so maybe this is her educational and intellectual revenge fantasy. You good point.
Just think about it.
I think it's.
Now what?
Just think about it. If it wasn't for geeks, we wouldn't have any of these, stories, movies, anything going on right now. Especially with technology, we wouldn't have any of this. Yeah, well, yeah, drugs too. I mean,
like drugs.
Geeks made all this. So if it wasn't for the geek that you made fun of back in high school, we wouldn't have any of this right now.
Yep, I agree. Final thoughts, anyone, before we wrap it up?
Yeah. In retrospect, I think it's more likely what Ross said at the end. Probably not making a bunch of money, needed to make her name, put out there with some bullshit.
Yep, I agree. All right, that's it for Keeping Up the Geek Bros. Thank you for tuning in. Of course, you can check us out on Instagram and Twitter, just GEKB or 0S. Geekbros at yahoo.com, GEKB or 0S at yahoo.com. Facebook.com, the hottest place for Geek Bros news, culture, and everything like that. And we have to now pin our posts to the top. Facebook.com/Geek Bros with a 0. We Be Geeks PC, the first place to listen to us every Saturday now. Please, you guys got to give me some time to do these post productions. Saturdays now. Don't hate on me, but now we are streaming, everywhere you want to be, all over again. Thank you, Juancho. And and of course, you want to watch us, YouTube.com/ViberUp Studios. Shameless promotion, gentlemen. Before we wrap it up, let's gonna go as Juancho. All right.
You can find me at. Juancho.
Mr. Roboto at.
Juancho.
Okay. Thanks. Darth Flex.
Yes, you can find me at Darth_Flex or just Darth Flex on Instagram and Twitter. Only one with that name.
The Roz.
At Ray Raziel on Twitter. At whatever. Same thing everywhere.
Yeah, good stuff. Man, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for having me. Man on Facebook, Man17093 on Twitter and IG. I just joined Twitter recently. I'm going to start putting some stuff out.
All right, that's what I like to hear.
You got to check out Black Twitter.
Black Twitter.
It's awesome.
All right.
I hear.
Check that out. Okay, of course, you can find me, ViberUp Studios, ViberUpStudios. That's Instagram, Twitter, Facebook.com and YouTube. Everything you want to see there. Everything. So, thank you for tuning in to Keeping the Geek Bros podcast. And remember, geeking out still sounds this good.
Keeping Up with the Geek Bros.